Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Lexi out here, and it's Sunday morning, the last day of November, and we did not make it through the month of November with only one loss. Unfortunately, we took our second loss last night, and the losing streak ended in Charlotte. But man, it's such bullshit how that happened, and in some ways, Raptors fans should not be coming at the team in any kind of way for what happened last night, because this game should not have been a loss. They got railroaded last night. I'm going to say this right now. The referees absolutely helped the Hornets win this game. The Hornets do not win this game without Mark Davis and CJ Washington absolutely calling all the calls on one side and nothing else. We're a pretty team. We can handle that to an extent. But, the problem is we kind of handled it, but it's an unfair advantage given to Charlotte, giving them such a prop up to even be close at the end of the game. And, they wouldn't even been there if the referees had not been governing us the whole game, which I say govern because I use that verb, which means like to govern an engine. That's what I mean, not a political way. Like an engine, a kid gets bought a go-kart by their father for Christmas, and they can't go over 30 miles an hour because they want to stop them. You put a governor on the engine, and that means that the engine will not exceed 30 miles an hour. Well, sometimes the referees are governors as far as the whole engine's down for what they could be possibly doing to their potential, because they want to slow them down so that they can't just run away with the game. What did we see at the beginning of the game? Absolute trouncing of the Charlotte Hornets. But every single call for them, never a call for us. All kinds of physical activity done to us by the Hornets, absolutely not called at all. And then the other end, touch fouls and all kinds of bullshit called for them. And they had a huge amount of free throws over us by halftime. What happens is there's a psychology to it. You see how one-sided the calls are. In some ways, they're seeing Brandon Ingram on Toronto, and they're saying, you know what, Brandon, we're going to show you when you're a Raptor, you don't get fair treatment exactly in this league, and we want you to feel a little bit maybe frustrated. Frustrated. I think that's the right word. I want you to feel frustrated. Scotty, RJ, Emmanuel, these guys know, even Jakob, that they're not going to get the calls exactly the same on this team if they were a Knick or a Sixer or some bullshit like that. So what I would say is this, that what they do is it's a psychology to it. It's like, okay, now it's like you guys aren't going to get any calls. They want to make them feel like it's unfair and that they're pissed off. And it also, they want to make them feel like disheartened because they know they're really up against something tough. So by the end of the game, the Raptors are still within striking distance. The Raptors can still win this game, but they have to execute exactly like they have been, and they still win. But unfortunately, because the game is close, because it's manufactured to be close by the referees, and the Raptors don't have their stuff at the end of the game, and the Charlotte Hornets hit some crazy-ass shots that they won't always hit, well, you get what you get. Now, going into overtime, that should have never happened. Those Raptors should have killed the game before overtime started, because when overtime starts, the home team has advantage, and that's trouble. That shouldn't have been us that looked tired, because they played the back-to-back the night before, and they had another game kind of manufactured for them to win against the Bulls the night before. They're trying to help the Hornets for some reason right now. I don't know why, but the NBA is trying to help the Hornets right now. And it's kind of messed up. Like, I don't understand it. Maybe it's LaMelo. Maybe it's Con Knipple. They want to make him some great white hope kind of motherfucker. I don't know what it is. I don't know why they're helping the Hornets right now. The Hornets, they need the help. That's obvious. And, well, they're getting it. So, yeah. Nah, fuck this. We played 8 versus 5 again last night. And this time, the 3 extra guys were the factor that won this game last night. Not the Hornets. They didn't fucking beat us clean last night. I don't give them shit for that. And when the Hornets were celebrating after the game, big cheesy-ass smile from Grant Williams, who didn't even fucking play, you sorry-ass piece of shit, fake-ass Batman piece of fat tub of lard, fuckface. You don't do jack shit in this game. So don't come up to our players after the game smiling like you did something, you piece of shit. Seriously, because you didn't do jack shit in this game. You were hurt. And honestly, none of y'all should have been smiling and happy that you won that game that way, because you had to have it handed to you by fucking Dr. Evil and Mini-Me, a.k.a. Mark Davis and his little Mini-Me looking motherfucker, CJ Washington. Because they have that energy. You know what I mean? Yeah, Mike Myers, Vin Troyer energy. Fucking bullshit. Yes, Dr. Evil, motherfucker. Put a monocle on Mark Davis's head and get a little mini one for CJ Washington and put him in his lap. And that's what you got with those two pieces of shit, is what I'll say right there. Yeah, I'm cussing this morning. No swearing Sundays. No, lots of swearing Sundays, because the 8 versus 5 finally caught up on the Raptors, and they did finally lose. I mean, they did 8 versus 5 against us when they came to Toronto last Monday and played against us. They put 8 versus 5 on us, and we beat them in Toronto when Charlotte played us before. So, yeah, they were going to catch us at one point with the 8 versus 5. They were going to catch us at one point with the 8 versus 5, Raptors fans. Seriously, we're that talented. We can beat it most of the time. But at some point, they were going to give us that 8 versus 5, and we were not going to be able to complete the assignment. And that was last night. In some ways, I talk about the bright sides about losing that game last night, and there are bright sides. This streak is over. It's clean. We don't have to worry about the pressure of it when we play the Knicks tonight in New York. In some ways, I didn't want to come into this game with a 10-game losing streak with the extra added pressure of protecting it, and also going in against a division rival in a very important game tonight against the Knicks, which I will be previewing very shortly right now. But yeah, I wanted to recap the Charlotte game a little bit first and talk about exactly what I saw last night, and that is a referee's win. I don't give you jack shit credit, Charlotte Hornets. I really don't fucking give y'all credit at all, because you shouldn't even been involved in this game. The referees absolutely artificially kept you in this game. And that's just the damn truth. That's seriously the truth. Seriously. All right, let me do the preview, guys, for the Knicks game tonight. Madison Square Garden, 6 p.m. once again. Trevor, you better check your times, bro. 6 p.m. starts, all right? You're just coming in there saying, whoa, the game started already. Yeah, we said this on the show. 6 p.m. start yesterday, and 6 p.m. start today also. So be ready for that, Trevor J. All right, let's see. Here's the injuries first for the Knicks. Our guy OG is out, guys. Right now, he has a hamstring injury, and he is going to be reevaluated probably this week. But he is out. He will not be playing against his former team today, so we will not see OG Anunoby on the court for the Knicks. Kevin McCullar Jr. has been signed to a two-way deal with the Knicks. And Landry Shamet, who's been playing well for them recently, he got hurt the shoulder this week, and he'll be out for a month, it sounds like. But that's about it for the injuries for the Knicks right now, who are 12-6, and they are on a win streak right now. I think a 3 or 4 game win streak or something like that. But yeah, their starting lineup right now is Jalen Brunson, Miles McBride, Mikal Bridges, Josh Hart, and Karl Anthony Towns. Who else is on the Knicks this year? Well, Tyler Kolek. Jordan Clarkson was the big free agency pickup for them this summer as a scorer off the bench. You know, you got to watch out for Clarkson, the veteran scorer who can fill it up. So we got to get somebody on him, maybe Oshai. Gershon Yabusele, who came over from the Philadelphia 76ers last year to the Knicks this year, is on their bench now. Mitchell Robinson is back, and he is healthy. He is playing for the Knicks right now. Let's see who else we got. We got Pacome Dadier. It's the French kid who's a project coming up on in their program. Ariel Huckleport, another big that's young for them. Tashawn Evois Beaumois is also on this team, and Trey Jemison, the third, is rounding out their depth chart. Yeah, as I said, the New York Knicks have won a few games in a row right now. They're on a 3-game winning streak. The last time they lost was to the Orlando Magic, and that was on the 22nd last Saturday. So, yeah, they didn't play yesterday. They played Friday night against the Bucks, and they did win that game. They were winning most of the game, or actually the Bucks were winning part of the game, and then they came back and won the game at the end. So, yeah, we got to play the Knicks tonight. And that's, you know what, in some ways I like that they're coming in on a game after a loss on a back-to-back for the Raptors, because they're going to have a lot of motivation tonight. In some ways, you know, we hadn't felt losing in a long time, most of this month. So it's good for them to taste the sting of it, to motivate them again to come out and kick the Knicks' ass tonight. Seriously. In some ways, I'm kind of glad they lost last night. In some ways, I'm kind of glad that they lost because the fucking refs. And in some ways, I'm glad that we don't have this win streak tonight because it takes a lot of the pressure off. Of course, this game tonight is a prelude to the knockout round game for the in-season tournament in Toronto on December the 9th. So in some ways, this is a good practice game, even though it's a regular season game, for the game that really matters, that one and done knockout game on December the 9th. So yeah, this is good for scouting and tape for that game, and also just to get a win in Madison Square Garden on that biggest stage. So I love it, Raptors. Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Go to Charlotte and lose to some sort of weird sun-kissed wearing jerseys, weird-ass yellow Hornet court looking place. I like the aesthetic, actually, Hornets. That was pretty cool City Edition stuff. Yeah, go lose to them, but beat the Knicks in New York. I'll be happy. That's all you got to do now. That's all you got to do. To every Raptors Nation person out there overreacting to last night, shut the fuck up. I just got to say that right now. Every Raptors fan who's doing crazy shit just because the Raptors lost last night, you just need to stop. Just stop. Don't overreact. It's just one game, and our record is still really badass, and we are a really good team. So have some dignity and keep it together. All right? How about that? How about that? Keep it together. And if you're coming at Brandon or IQ today, just stop. Just stop. Because you have to have big balls to take big shots at the end of games, and sometimes they don't go down. Sometimes they don't go down. All right, the referees for tonight. We got Kevin Scott as our crew chief tonight in New York. He's number 24 in his 15th season out of South Carolina. His favorite TV show is 48 Hours, the news show. Okay. He likes the movie Shawshank Redemption. He listens to Eric Church. His favorite book is Friday Night Lights. He likes to eat cheese pizza. His favorite app is the Weather Channel. Well, I'll tell you what, Kevin Scott, it's snowing like crazy in Ontario right now. Looking out at the weather here. Most like to visit the Great Barrier Reef. Well, you better bring scuba gear. And his bucket list is the African safari, and his hidden talent is facial recognition. Maybe like AI could hire you, and you could do facial recognition for them. Like, they'll show you faces on the screen and stuff like that. If he's good at facial recognition, I would guess that Kevin Scott as a child was very good at the board game Guess Who. Do you guys remember Guess Who? That's the best. All right, he hasn't reffed us yet this year. Kevin Scott has officiated 774 regular season games and 14 seasons as an NBA staff official. He has also worked 54 playoff games, including 2 NBA Finals games. Scott officiated the 2025 NBA All-Star Game in San Francisco this year. Yeah, Kevin Scott is not a horrible ref for the Raps. Actually, he is a 55% winning ref for the Raptors. We win 55% of our games when he is present. And the Knicks win 46% of their games. So 55-46 for the Raptors with the crew chief, Kevin Scott, tonight. The second ref tonight is going to be Trey Maddox, guys. In his 15th season, number 23 out of Great Lakes, Illinois. His favorite show is Power. He likes the movie Training Day. His favorite musician is Michael Jackson. The book is Quiet Strength. His favorite meal is steak and lobster. His favorite app is Fight List. He most like to visit Dubai. He'd like to attend the Open Championship, and his hidden talent is playing the piano. Trey Maddox has officiated 723 regular season games and 33 playoff games in 14 seasons as an NBA staff official. He also officiated the 2025 NBA All-Star Game in San Francisco this year. So, yeah, Trey, we haven't had him this year yet. But, Trey Maddox is the best ref for the Raptors today. We win 58% of our games when he is available. And, well, the Knicks win 36% of their games. So 58-36 is the split with the second ref, Trey Maddox. This is a way better ref crew than last night, guys, just so you know. It's a way, way, way better ref crew. The third ref is the suspicious one, though. He's the husband. Out his 9th season out of Hampton, Virginia, it's Jonathan Sterling, number 17. His favorite movie is Coming to America. He likes Future to listen to for music. His favorite app is Maps. He most like to visit Australia. His bucket list is to dive with sharks, and his hidden talent is breakdancing. We had Jonathan during the preseason, but we haven't had him yet as a regular season game. Jonathan Sterling has officiated 356 regular season games in 8 seasons as an NBA staff official. He also worked the Rising Stars competition and All-Star Saturday night events at NBA All-Star 2022 in Cleveland, Ohio. Yeah, Jonathan is the worst ref today for the Raptors. We win 42% of our games. He's down in the red zone, and he is below Ed Malloy and Scott Foster. Meanwhile, the Knicks have a slight percentage higher than us, which is 42. So the split is actually 41.7 to 42.1. Very close split, but slightly favoring the Knicks with the third referee, Jonathan Sterling. So there's our crew chief and staff for today. Kevin Scott. Yeah, you're going to hear the southern drawl of the South Carolinian Kevin Scott today on the challenge mic is what you'll hear tonight. And and the refs that are in the replay center are Curtis Blair, Mike Mitchell Irvin, and Sean Wright. So yeah, that's your ref check. It seems like it's okay. I like Trey Maddox. Trey Maddox is a good ref. Kevin Scott, I was suspicious of for many years, but I think he's a very good ref also. And Jonathan Sterling's the only dud. Let's just put it that way. He's a weirdo. In some ways, he's like C.J. Washington. So it's like, 2 out of 3 ain't bad, Meatloaf. So yeah, there's a ref report for tonight and the latest lineup news for our Knicks matchup tonight, 6 p.m. Trevor. 6 p.m. That's right. Trevor J, words of wisdom. Good morning to you, Commissioner J. Good to see you. Most people only label themselves blessed when money is involved. I know. It's so stupid. Does the whole world revolve around money? No, it doesn't actually. There's something else that it revolves around that's much more important, and that is life and people. That's way more important than money. I'm going to tell you that right now. Most people only label themselves blessed when money is involved. It is much deeper than that. If you're healthy, can breathe without pain, can move your body, think clearly, and wake up with another chance to grow, you're already beyond blessed. That he's describing is like, is it money? No. Is it your bank account? No, it's your health report. It's your health report. It's how you're feeling. It's how you there's so many different things that can be more important than money. And in some ways, money is only as important as you make it in your life. There's some people that made it so important that they're dictatorial and crazy and maniacal, like Elon Musk. I'm telling you right now, at some point, even though Elon's got all that money, it won't mean jack shit, because in some ways, everything will get flipped upside down. And everybody will be just kind of like, you know what, these rules for this board game we used to be playing, we're not playing by the same board game rules anymore. You may have been playing Monopoly, and that really is kind of what they're playing right now. But we ain't playing Monopoly anymore. Nah, we're flipping the board. All the pieces go flying in the air, and all the fake-ass money that is really kind of a fake system that isn't really a real thing in a lot of ways. We can decide that at some point. We can flip the script and change the system. These greedy motherfuckers want to go too far as billionaires and the bullshit they're doing. Well, the populace has way more power than you think. And there are ways to do this. And in some ways, you got to be a little bit out of your comfort zone. You got to be a little bit ready to change very fundamental things in your life and be ready to weather certain things. We've gotten so bougie with our luxuries and bullshit. I'm telling you right now, if you have creature comforts and luxuries that are a little bit too bougie, you may want to get rid of them and stop depending on them, because things might be tightening up real soon in the next couple of years. This is just a warning for the Raptors freak. I prognosticate. I see the future. And I'm talking about futures that don't have to do with the Raptors right now. I'm talking about societal futures, system futures, government futures, economic futures. And I'm telling you right now, we're going to have to be very united in some ways if we want to shape the future against the people that are trying to shape the future for us, that have a lot of money. And in some ways, we decide whether that money matters or not. I'm telling you right now, we have way more power than you think. And in some ways, we can shun them and their system. If you're doing Black Friday and you're buying Amazon and stuff, you're not helping things. So if you can do an anti-corporate stance and stop feeding these assholes, you do better in your life in the long run. Trust me. All right. Yeah, let's keep going. All right. Thank you, Trevor, for your words of wisdom. That's right. There's a better currency than money. It's your health. That's what he's saying right here. That's right. Happy game day. Let's dust this one off and be ready for New York tonight. Yeah, I'm happy. In some ways, they lost last night. I'm not totally, though. You know, in some ways, it's like, look, Emmanuel and Brandon didn't hit their shots at the end of the game. Scotty said it after the game. He was like, we had shots. They were open. We should have made them. There was some questionable stuff that quickly did at the end of the game that kind of annoyed me. You know, that quick transition three only works, Emmanuel, if you make it. And if you don't make it, it looks really bad as the possession. as far as what's going on. When you don't have anybody set up, you just want to do that trigger three at the top of the three, and nobody's set up for rebounding. You better fucking make it, Emmanuel, is what I'm saying right now. Now, I don't hate Emmanuel. I'm not mad at Emmanuel. Some of y'all are acting like you hate him after last night, and you don't need to do that. That's the wrong action. In some ways, yeah, he had bad turnovers. He missed a bad shot. And, Brandon missed all his shots late too. They just weren't clutch last night. And in some ways, they didn't get the job done. Well, that's going to happen sometimes. We've had success so far with these situations and executing. Well, last night we didn't. And, a little bit of credit to the Hornets for their defensive energy. I'll give you credit for that, but I'm not giving you credit for the win. You guys absolutely needed the referees to hold your hands to win against us last night. You just barely won by the skin of your teeth. And they absolutely helped you the whole entire fucking game. Seriously. I mean, I don't understand how those Hornets could be acting like they won something like when they were fucking handed it to them. Seriously, last night. I guess they don't win that much. So they have to celebrate when something like this happens. I think that's what it is there. Yeah, let's keep going. Trevor J spread up that the 905 are still on fire. That's right. The 905 are 7-0, taking care of business last night in Long Island with another pretty sizable win. I'll do the stars of the game for that one, along with the stars of the game for the Raptors game last night. Soon. We'll do that soon. But yeah, congratulations to Coach Andrew Jones and the 905 on going 7-0, undefeated still this season. It's the best start ever for our G League Raptors 905. And they just continue to roll. And they're going to play the Long Island Nets again on Tuesday. I believe it's Tuesday. It's Monday or Tuesday they'll be playing them again. I think it may be tomorrow. They may be Long Island Nets once more. The Long Island Nets don't have the best. Well, the Raptors 905 do. And that's a big 130-point win right there with the 905. We'll go over that in just a second. Trevor's saying the refs helped Charlotte out yesterday, but the Raptors gave up a 17-point lead in overtime. Just forget how to score the ball and defend. It's not exactly how it went. It wasn't a 17-point lead. It was closer than that. I mean, all right, let's break it down from the start. The first quarter, the Raptors came out and played perfect basketball on both ends. In fact, I was just loving it. Weren't you loving the first part? It was so smooth. Everything was going awesome. We saw all the guys working with each other, and they did it on both ends. Like, they were really good on offense and scoring like really easy and doing all kinds of stuff, schooling the Charlotte Hornets. And then on top of that, along with the really good, potent offense, they were playing dogged defense and really, really stopping them at the other end too. And then all of a sudden it's like 20 to like 7 or something like that. It's 20 plus to 7 or something like that. And that's badass. In some ways, that stuff was awesome. People that were saying we have trouble starting. Well, that wasn't the case last night. We had trouble finishing. And there was a real positioning and decisions for the Hornets and how they did this. Darko said after the game, there were a couple of things they were doing with trapping and stuff like that. And there a couple of things coming with the doubles when they did. That was very effective against us and kind of screwing us up. So there was an adjustment that we didn't totally make with the players at the end of the game to get our offense going. This is definitely a game where RJ Barrett would have helped us a lot. And we would have won. I think somebody's going to say that. James says that in this comment here. If we had RJ yesterday, we would win. I think that's true. Because he does certain things in the half-court offense, and he speeds up our fast break that really helps us to get scores when we can't get them, especially around the fourth quarter in that time. That's kind of RJ time. That's kind of time for Rowan Barrett Jr. to step up and put his 2 cents into the game and help us win and take it home at the end. So, yeah, RJ would have definitely helped last night as far as the outcome. But, yeah, it's different sections of the game. The refs, after our really fast start, they were definitely one-siding everything immediately. And you heard Matt and Jack talking about it in the game, about how many fouls were being called for the Raptors and how many fouls were being called for the Charlotte Hornets. And like Jack said, it's not like the Raptors are just settling for threes outside. They were going inside and hitting the paint and getting paint touches, and they still weren't getting any calls. I know Scotty looks like Karl Malone all of a sudden with his shoulders and his body. But yeah, in some ways, he's going to get the Shaq fouls now, and they are not going to respect him, and they're going to make him feel like he's going through a buzzsaw and there's no whistle love. And I'm sick of that shit. because, at the other end, wife beater like Miles Bridges getting the line left and right. So, yeah, it's bullshit, man. And I absolutely blame Mark Davis for us losing last night. Seriously, there was a directive to do this. They've been trying to slow us down. We've been too going crazy with success, and they don't like that in this league. They really don't. I was watching TSN before the game last night, and I realized they do a dirty trick. They have a ticker, and they put the Raptors on there. I wanted to see when the game was like coming on, or what was on the right TSN I was on last night. And the ticker always runs NHL first. This is a trick they've been doing for years, y'all. And I want to tell you, this is part of the thing that I told y'all, that they don't want to put the Raptors on blast on sports channels up here. You'll see more CFL highlights, more NHL highlights, more college football highlights, more soccer highlights, more baseball highlights than you'll ever see NBA or the Raptors even. And in fact, when they show NBA highlights, they don't even want to show the Raptors on TSN or Sportsnet. And it's crazy. I watched that channel a couple hours before the game. I never do that. I honestly don't. And I noticed, I'm like watching the ticker, and they start with NHL, and they do the NHL scores and the news. And then they go to NFL, and they go NFL news. There were no games yesterday, so just one little NFL. And then they do college football, and that's where they get you. Because every time they come back from a commercial, they start the beginning of the ticker with NHL again. It never gets to the NBA news or the Raptors news on the ticker, because the college football games are crazy on a Saturday, and you just run. So there's all kinds of screwy-ass, weird-ass ways that TSN is burying the Raptors in a weird way. You wouldn't even know that the Raptors are on their channel other than the times when the game is on, because they hardly ever put them on blast in surveys. And I noticed that yesterday. I was like, man, I want to see what the Raptors ticker news is. And I never got to see it. It's like a fool's gold that you'll never see the ticker on a TSN bottom ever get to. Pay attention. You'll see what I'm seeing. See, I see patterns. I'm autistic. I see everything like that. And I see what you're doing, TSN. I know you've done this for years, because I remember you doing this like 10 years ago. So you're still doing this shit where you won't even put the Raptors on the ticker in a place where they'll actually get read at the bottom. You should prioritize them over the college football or scores. Yeah. Or maybe the NFL too. You could put the NHL first. That's fine. But put the NHL and the NHL news, and then put the NBA and the NBA news, because we don't have an NFL team in fucking Toronto, dumbasses, is what I'm going to say. We don't even have an NFL team in Canada. So what the fuck is your reason for why you put the NFL or college football on the ticker before the Raptors, TSN? Yeah, something to say about that. That's right. Let's see. Keep it on going in the chat. Good games here. Good morning, G. Reasons. All right, hang on. It jumped ahead. Let me make sure I get this whole thing. Reasons why they lost. Number one, Melo didn't play most of the fourth quarter in overtime. He plays losing ball, in my opinion. Yeah, that's interesting. I think that's a funny thing to say, G. It's like Charles Lee held out LaMelo late in the game, and the fans were getting mad. They were yelling, "We want LaMelo. We want LaMelo." Well, the fans, you want to lose? Because that's what you're calling for right there. Because the G is exactly right. LaMelo Ball is a losing player in this league because he's an exhibition player. He's not a true kind of player. He's just a goofy trick guy. And, well, Charles Lee's smart enough to hold him out at the end of the game, so he can't help them lose the game. I think G is exactly right on this point right here. That's why that dude wasn't in. It's because Charles Lee was trying to win. Oh, that's so funny, man. Number two, the refs were out of pocket. They really were, man. And Diedrich, you upset me last night, because Diedrich Taylor, former UPS driver, you're really good to us most of the time, but you were engaging in this with them too. There were some really fucked up calls from Diedrich last night, and I was like disappointed in him. I expect that from CJ and Mark Davis, Mini Me and Dr. Evil, but I don't expect it from you, Diedrich. I really don't. I don't expect it from you. You disappointed me, man. You disappointed me. RJ's cut. Number three, RJ's cutting and points were missed. Yeah. There's just a certain kind of bucket getting that we need. There's a balance with him and Brandon, and the yin yang of like alternating between the two of them every time down the court. Now, when we don't have Brandon, we should be maybe alternating between Scott. I mean, don't have RJ. We should be alternating between Scotty and Brandon. Because like Scott, man, oh my gosh, you're playing so huge right now. He's a really big guy in this league at this point, and he's just a bully. Like, he's literally doing like Karl Malone stuff on the court. He looked like Karl Malone last night, guys. Honestly, he looked like Karl Malone. All right, we got our first call of the day, guys. This is a Raptor Freak reaction call-in show.
Good morning.
It's infamous. It's infamous. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. I think we're breaking up. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you. It's okay. Just kind of listen to me through your phone and maybe turn down the show because I don't know. It's a little weird. But yeah, good morning, Infamous. How are you today?
I'm good. Okay. I don't know what's going on. I think the reception is really bad. I can't hear you.
You know what it is? I'm in this hotel room and the phone doesn't work very well in here. I don't know why. There's like iron walls or something like that, but the phone reception,
Okay.
it's my phone that's kind of screwy. It's not
Okay,
you.
now I can hear you. Now I can hear you.
Okay, good. All right, what's going on, man? How are you doing?
Hey, man, I got a name for our segment. I call it Raptors in 6.
Okay.
Raptors in 6 because we're in the 6.
Okay.
And I'm going to try to get to 6 points as fast as I
could do can I do the infamous 6?
Go ahead.
The infamous 6, Raptors in 6. Yeah. Let's go.
Let's go. Okay, let's start with the Hornets coach. I don't know if anybody picked up on this. He did a masterful job in coaching.
Yeah.
Here's what notice what he did. He benched LaMelo Ball and he benched Miller, right? That was an excellent strategy because they become a better defensive team with those two players off the court, especially LaMelo. LaMelo, because on the offensive end, we can go at LaMelo Ball because LaMelo Ball is not really a good defender. So that kind of, by him putting on better defenders and him having the kahunas, I have to say he had the kahunas to do it because a lot of young coaches would not have done what he did. I think that motivated them. And Colin Saxon is a better defensive player than Melo. Let's be honest, he is way better. So I think that was a brilliant coaching strategy that he had the balls to implement there. What do you think?
Yeah, I would agree. I think that Charles Lee is a very good coach, and I think that you're right on point, Infamous, with the switch out and that Brandon Miller's hurt, and I feel like he in some ways wasn't totally effective offensively either, and he was definitely looking kind of small out there. So yeah, I'll give respect and credit to Charles Lee for knowing not to play a couple of his stars late. And yeah, you're right. The defensive lineups were stymieing to us, but we're better than that. We should have been able to solve them. I feel like Darko even said that he felt like we were a little bit tired near the end of the game, and that's part of like the whole thing. But man, in some ways I wish we'd go to Scott in these situations more at the end of the game where he just bullies his way.
Thank you. That is part of my point. That was part of. Okay, and that actually bleeds into my next point.
Okay.
Without a doubt, Scotty Barnes is. Let's stop it. Scotty Barnes last night did not prove that Scotty Barnes is our best player. And what I think, Darko made a good point. And not Darko. You made a good point. What happens down the stretch, right? They know from the previous game, and we become a little bit predictable that the ball is going to go in Brandon's hands. Yeah. I think Darko, in my opinion, and this is no criticism against Darko. I love Darko. But I think Darko should have switched it up a bit and went to Scotty because Scotty was volleyballing. That volleyball thing that he was doing, that would have either gotten us the basket because
or
it
the
was
foul
working.
Shot.
The basket or the foul.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you make a great point about that, Lex.
I think that in some ways, like they were trying to do it like it's Brandon's usually the primary option at the end to close the game. But if there's a second option, it's RJ, I think normally. Now, last night it was the IQ was the second option at the end of the game to try and hit it. And I'm not totally against that because I know that IQ had a good game for most of the game. And in some ways, he has been a clutch player in the past that can hit huge shots in the last couple minutes of the game. But, we got to understand this. In the NBA, we got to live and die with success on the shots. Sometimes the shots are not going to fall, and sometimes you're just going to be on that losing side. And, well, for the success of executing in clutch games more recently over the past month, well, this was a dud. And this is one where there's a learning experience. In some ways, these guys got to have this taste of defeat so that they can be hungry and grow from it and continue to elevate their game as the season goes on. So
excellent point. And I got to give credit to you. The ref report is undefeated. The first thing I thought about in that game, how the refs were screwing us, I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah. Lex, you're 100% on point with that ref report because you actually said it yesterday. I was listening to you.
Yeah.
And you were talking about the ref report and how certain referees and you nailed it.
Yeah.
You nailed it right on the head. And you said something very key that I will always remember, and this is always stuck in my head. And everybody out there, Raptor fans, listen to this. Lex said that if the game is within 10 points, they can manipulate it.
Yeah. Yeah. This is something that the disgraced ref Tim Donaghy wrote in his book, that from the inside as a referee, they know that within 10 points, they can have a hand in deciding the game. That's why I always say, Raptors, you can't mess around. You have to have a double-digit lead in the last couple minutes of the game, because the refs will manufacture points for the other team and try and get them up over you in a lot of situations. Yeah.
And this is just a coaching nitpick. And tell me what you think about what you thought about this. I thought that, again, it was a good, brilliant coaching job by the Hornets coach.
Yeah.
When he basically had Bridges go at our weakest point, which is Emmanuel Quickley.
Yeah.
The size disparity and the strength, Emmanuel Quickley could not hold him off. Yeah. So here was my critique. Why didn't, and tell me what you think. I mean, there's no right or wrong answer to this. I thought Mamu would have been a perfect substitution starting the overtime. What do you think? So you would have Miles Bridges, he can hold off Miles Bridges. Mamu still has the footwork and the speed to keep up with, I guess Bridges would be like a small forward, power forward. He's still, I think Mamu would have been better starting the overtime. What do you think? Go ahead, sir.
You know, that's a great point. I mean, we would have seen that. We had a quick Shed to start. Jacoby started the game, but at the overtime, Shed was inserted for that great two point guard lineup. And in theory, like Matt and Jack were saying at the beginning of the overtime, this is great because you have two creators and guys that are really savvy and they're floor generals. In some ways, by theory, what Darko did was the right move to me. But, you know, you're right. What happened was in the overtime, Miles Bridges used his size to absolutely dominate the overtime period. I'm annoyed because I wish that they had cited him earlier in the game for being a huge problem and really put somebody on him to stop him. In some ways, I wish, you know, whether it was Mamu, I don't know if it was Mamu that was the right person, but maybe if Oshai had been playing better or Jacoby had been playing better, they could have been in it late in the game to try and slow down Miles Bridges. Maybe in some ways, Scotty should have been switched to him too. In some ways, it's like,
but here's the problem: they were match hunting. So what they were doing is once they were switching off, and then they got Miles Bridges switched off
onto quickly. Yeah, they were subjugating. You're exactly right.
Went at it and balled him down there in the low post. So I was thinking that if you had, because Scotty couldn't do everything. I mean, Scotty was doing the best he can. He can't be in three places at once. So if you had a Mamu out there who's still a good outlet, keep Quickly in as the point guard, but put Mamu out there, that Miles Bridges bullying would have been a little bit, in my opinion, a little bit nullified because of the size.
Yeah, I would have said if this is another case where RJ would have helped us because he's the right size to guard Bridges. Yeah. Wow, we're thinking alike here.
My next point. So this also proves why RJ is vastly needed, because when you need a bucket, RJ gets buckets without any plays being run for him, pretty much.
Yeah.
So when we were stagnant and we were unable to score, RJ would have been a great outlet that we needed. It's because we had to rely heavily on Quickly, Scotty, and Ingram. That took a lot of pressure and a lot of weight on put a lot of weight on them. But with with RJ in the lineup, it would have made us a considerable difference. I think we would have won it with RJ, in my opinion.
I would tell you right now, I really do feel like these Hornets, the way they won last night, is just like Indiana Jones just barely getting their hat out of that temple. They just got the skin of their teeth. They got this game last night.
You are 100% correct. And this is my last and final point.
Sure.
You said a great thing. You said a loss is not always a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
This is a good loss. And let me explain why. This is a good loss because it shows you areas that you may have been, because let's be honest, the last game they won, but it wasn't a good game. They didn't play a good game, but it was their talent and their skills that kind of got them over in the last in the last couple of games. Let's be honest.
A low-scoring game, under 100, both teams against Indiana, and it was ugly to its point, but they really grinded it out and won the game at the end. And Coach Carlisle,
Absolutely.
There's some parallels between what Coach Carlisle was doing to us on Wednesday and what Charles Lee did last night with the Hornets. There was a little bit of parallels. So there's more tape for Darko and Pat Delaney and them to figure out exactly. All right, these are what the teams are doing to us now that they see who we are, and now it's an adjustment game. They've got to keep adjusting and staying ahead and understanding, well, this is the defenses they're throwing at us now, and, they'll make the adjustments, and we'll do better.
Yeah, we'll tighten things up. Darko's a great coach. He'll make the adjustments. We'll tighten things up. Tonight is going to be another battle-tested game. I mean,
I'm excited.
We're going to be in the next. Yeah, I'm excited for this one. It would have been nice if we had RJ in the mix, but hey, we got to work with what we got. So
and it is what it is. In some ways, go ahead. Yeah, no, you go ahead.
No, finish it. I was about to say, just to cap things off with the infamous 6. Just to cap things off, Lex, your boy Cooper Flag, he had 35 points last night. So
I didn't even know. I didn't even know.
So
he's got the high for rookies.
Cooper Flag set a rookie record last night with 35 points. I think 35 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, if I'm not mistaken. It could
Who's laughing?
Who's laughing? So this is what I keep telling people. Give players time to maturate. I'm not saying he's going to be a superstar. Don't get me wrong.
No, he's going to be fine. He's going to be a good player.
Right. Just like we gave Emmanuel Quickly time when he was struggling at the beginning of the season, we got to give these players time to develop. And I think one of the big differences is that Jason Kidd was basically, throwing him all over the place. He was playing him at point, playing at small forward, playing him at power forward. And I think the problem is when Jason Kidd say, we're going to start him at point, I think that took away from his game.
Yeah.
Once he gets slotted into his natural position, I think that's where he will thrive.
That was not smart. Like, the dude's a rookie. He's got all the pressure in the world, and you're going to throw him into the hardest position to play. And plus, he's in some ways, he's a big guy, and he's got to play against little small guys that are chasing all around. It's stupid. It was so dumb that they were playing at point guard. And I'm not surprised he's having more success since they switched him to a more natural position for him right now. The only reason why they're doing that is because Kyrie's out and they don't have anybody else on their roster to run at point guard. So in some ways, that's just part of the legacy of the really bad GM work of Nico Harrison, that he builds a roster with no kind of JJ Barrera behind that thing to come in and play point guard. So they got to play a rookie Cooper Flag at that. It is what it is. Anyway, I know we have so much to talk about with 2 reactions and a preview today. I want to keep this mostly on Raptors, y'all. I'm not interested in talking about the rest of the NBA.
we don't do that. So I just wanted to end like that. Is the segment is over.
All right.
That's all I got to say.
The infamous 6.
Infamous six.
All right,
it's been
man.
a pleasure. It's been a pleasure, Lex. Keep up the good work.
I appreciate it.
And let's go Raptors.
Let's go Raptors.
Everybody have a beautiful day.
Let's go. All right, man. Thank you, Infamous. Infamous is infamously calling me again on the phone. That's right, Raptor Freaks. If you have the number, you can call. If you don't have the number, you can become a member of the channel and then get access to the number to be able to call. That's how it works right there. I appreciate my good friend Infamous calling me once again to give me his perspective on the game last night. And I think that his main point about Charles Lee is really true. I mean, he's a young and upcoming coach for sure. Like Jordi Fernandez on a team that's, and they want to get some progress. And, well, Charles Lee, maybe the progress is benching LaMelo Ball. All right, let's keep going with y'all in the chat here real quick. Yeah, let's see. G saying this. They will learn from this loss. Lots of good tape to see where they can improve, for sure. For sure. And Scotty had some good points after the game. It wasn't just missed shots. There were missed rebounds at key times where a possession stayed alive for Charlotte, and they managed to execute on it afterwards. That right there with a close game that went to overtime could have changed the game right there. Just one single rebound, Raptors, where you closed Charlotte Hornets possession. But there was one play where Brandon and Jakob blocked each other out. And somehow incessantly Miles Bridges got the ball and put it back in. So it's just little stuff like that. It's like dumb little like happenstances that could have just altered the game right there. And I was hoping they would be the team that have more energy in the overtime because the Hornets had played against the Bulls the night before. But alas, home court advantage was more important, and a coach's decision to bench a franchise player. That's a lot of it right there. G saying this, Pascal won the game winner in his game. The 905 remained hot. Yeah. Siakam and the Pacers beating the Wizards. That was nice to see. And the 905 were awesome last night. Let me do my stars of the game for the 905 blowout last night. Number one star last night in Long Island was Elijah Martin. Elijah Martin, our two-way out of Florida, came in and he had 22 points in 29 minutes, 9 to 12 shooting. I love the shooting percentage because him and Chucky have not been shooting well so far this year for the most part. But Elijah's starting to come around with better shooting. Chucky's still kind of in. 3 for 5 for Elijah Martin. This is the second straight game that he's been the number one star for the 905. He hit his free throw, 2 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 turnovers, 3 steals, and a block, a +8. This game was pretty close for most of the game. And then in the fourth quarter, the 905 exploded and really separated themselves with the 37-21 quarter at the end of the game. It was huge. The second star of the game last night is Jonathan Mobo. Jonathan Mobo is the second star for the second game in a row. He had a very solid stat-stuffing game. 18 points for Jonathan, 29 minutes, 9 of 15 from the field. He took a lot of shots, and he made them. He did miss his only free throw and three-point attempt. 7 rebounds, 4 assists with 2 turnovers, 2 steals, and a block. A +19 for Jonathan Mobo, just an active Swiss Army knife, just like his friend Wayne Barnes. He is doing the Wayne Barnes stuff on the G League level, and that is awesome. The third star of the game last night, just coming through them, going through these real quick. Olivier Sarr actually had a pretty decent game last night. He frustrates the hell out of me still. I will say this. He still frustrates the hell out of me. In one quarter early in the game, he has a point-blank dunk that nobody should ever miss, and he misses it somehow, especially with his height and his nobody near him. It's like, how did you miss that dunk, Olivier? But then later in the game, he hits a crazy 3 that he shouldn't be making. So, but Olivier was pretty good overall. 24 minutes, 17 points, 6 of 11 from the field, 1 of 2 from 3. Made all 3 of his free throws, 7 rebounds, 7 assists even. That's an interesting stat for Sarr. 7 assists. 1 turnover, 1 steal, 1 block, a +28. So, yeah, Sarr, this is one of his better games this season for sure. He has not been a star of the game for most of this win streak for the 905. I have not been showing him love because he has not been that good, but he had a good game last night. So I have to give him credit for this. Fourth star of the game is the tough and really round David Roddy off the bench. 15 points for him in 21 minutes, 6 of 8 from the field, 2 of 3 from 3, hit his free throw, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 turnovers with a block, a +7. David Roddy is that veteran for the 905 off the bench. He's just a load. And, well, he's getting out there and he's making good things happen for them and helping to contribute winning. All right, the next star of the game, the last star of the game for me, the 5th star is Tyreek Key. Off the bench, Tyreek got 14 points quick in 19 minutes, 4 of 7 from the field, 2 of 4 from 3, made his free throws, both of them, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 turnovers, a +11. So, yeah, I guess honorable mentions can go around to Chucky Hepburn, 9 points at 4 of 10 shooting, 1 of 5 from 3, 4 rebounds, 9 assists, 2 turnovers, 3 steals, 1 block, a +30. He was the highest plus-minus, so Chucky was adding to winning. His defense was really good. And also an honorable mention to Brampton's own A.J. Lawson, who didn't shoot as well. 14 points in 32 minutes, 6 of 14. He missed all 6 of his three-point attempts. Made 1 free throw, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 turnovers, but 5 steals for AJ. I will say that. And he was a +24. He was pretty good. If he hadn't missed all his threes, I would have given him a star. But yeah, he was in a tough place. The young Julian Reese came in off the bench and got 6 points off the bench in 17 minutes, 2 of 5 for Juju. Missed his only three-point attempt, made his only free throw, 6 rebounds, 1 assist, 5 turnovers. Hold up now, Julian. You're a big man, and you should not be getting 5 turnovers. You got to take care of the ball a little better, my guy. 2 steals and 1 block, a +11. Tyson Degenhart, good game for him off the bench. He's an honorable mention. 20 minutes, 9 points, 4 of 5 from the field, including hitting his only 3. 3 rebounds, 2 turnovers of -1. Jarkel Joyner, 6 points in 20 minutes, 2 of 5, missed both his threes, made his free throw, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 turnover, 1 steal, +1. AJ Hoggart got in late for 3 minutes of garbage time, missed a shot, made 2 rebounds, a +2. So, yeah, that's pretty much the 905's box score. On the other side, give some credit to Trayvon Scott, 27 points on 10 of 17 shooting, but at -31. Boo! Yeah, just real quick, I'll finish up with 905 on the team stats. They shot 56% as a team, which is fantastic. They got 10 more shot attempts than the Long Island Nets. They made 10 threes to their 7. Our free throws were 91%, which is fantastic. They only missed 1 free throw out of everybody on the team. That's really, really good. 49 rebounds for the the 905 to 32 for Long Island. So that's fantastic. A +17 at the rebounds. Assist to turnover ratios. Let's check that. 36 assists for the 905, 24 turnovers. So what is that? That's divide 9 into that or something like that, or 4. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see, 23 to 23 even for the Long Island Nets. 23 assists, 23 turnovers. Yeah, so yeah, 17 steals for the 905 yesterday. 17 steals, y'all. That's crazy work right there, man. And that led to 25 points on the fast break. And the points in the paint for the 905, 82 points. It's insane, man. These are nasty stats right here. So anyway, they'll play against the New Long Island Nets again tomorrow, I believe. They'll be playing them once again tomorrow night. So be there in the YouTube chat with us. Blake Murphy was there last night, holding it down with Monique and I. And I appreciate seeing the Raptor show, Blake Murphy, and talking to him during the 905 Long Island Nets game. So, yeah, watch the 905. They're fun to watch. They're 7-0 at this point for the season, undefeated. And, well, they're going to have to play again tomorrow and put that record on the line. And hopefully they'll be 8-0 after tomorrow also. So, yeah, there's your 905 report and reaction for the game last night. Yeah, Elijah Martin, keep going, man. You're kicking ass, man. Trevor's saying that Detroit beat Miami yesterday. Okay, that's just an NBA game to me. Let's see. Mr. Quasimoto is here. Good morning to you, sir. Thank you for the subscription. Like the live support. Right on, man. Thanks for the subscription. And I'll read every single comment that's put in there, man. So if you have any takes on the Raptors and their game last night, or you want to talk about the Knicks game tonight, whatever Raptors related, this is the Raptors Freak channel. And this is an outlet for Raptors fans that are positive for their team, not trying to be toxic, that truly support their team, that know that they're fans and not GMs. This is your place, because we want the Raptors to win Larry O'Brien's, and we're trying to come at it with that energy, because there's a lot of people in Raptors Nation that don't really have the energy that are trying to get us the next championship, and they don't even realize they're getting in the way. So in some ways, we're trying to help people understand how to be a good fan. So, Mr. Quasimoto, welcome, and I appreciate your sub, and I hope I see some more comments from you. I'd love to interact with you more. G's saying this: Scotty should have had the last possession to play bully ball. Yeah, I like that idea. I do. Once Ingram was doubled, he was open. Learning lessons. Some fans are going after IQ. Shaking my head. Yeah, in some ways, it's just not necessary, guys. In some ways, they're not really our fans. You got to understand, there's a lot of fake bots and weird shit out there online at this point. And some people could set up a program that just goes into like Raptors Reddit, Raptors social media, Raptors Facebook, Raptors Twitter, and just put in comments that are just kind of contrarian or just kind of piling on. You know, that's the whole thing. Like when a team has failure, some of the other fan bases will come in and act like they're on they're fans of that team and just go, woe is me, and start really trying to destroy things from within because of the failure. So be aware of this. If you're a real fan, you support your team through thick and thin. And in some ways, once again, y'all aren't like coaches and GMs and like any level to be astute enough to talk shit about NBA players to the degrees some of y'all are. And y'all need to shut the fuck up is what I got to say to some of those people. You know, some of y'all, they're coming after IQ after last night. You had to sign an apology letter to him last week. You may have to sign another one to him. Don't you understand the ups and downs of the NBA and that we can't win all of them? And that, you know what? Our record is badass. We're the top of the Atlantic Division. And we are also an Eastern Conference power right now. So come on now. Realize the whole big picture and stop overreacting to one loss last night. And honestly, it's a loss handed to us by Mark Davis. So let's just put it that way. I would say that right now. Yeah, I question the idea of not going to Scott late. I feel like in this situation, it would have been good to try and do that. I know that Scotty in some ways shies away from taking the clutch shots. I don't know why. In some ways, maybe he doesn't want to feel some of the wrath that Emmanuel Quickly is getting this morning. But I feel like, Scott, at this point, you're doing such a good job with your measure, your footwork, your timing, your patience on your low post moves that you're pretty money, man. If you wanted to take the shot and you had the good position, you're going to, like the infamous said, you're either going to make the shot or you're going to get foul shot. And in some ways, that's money right there we want at the end of the game. So at some point, Scott, I don't know if it's like they're going to call your number or you got to step up and be aggressive and ask for your number to be called at the end of the game and say, Coach, put it on my back. I'm going to take this ball into the lane and I'm going to get fouled at least if I go there. So, yeah, I agree with you on this one, man. Mr. Quasimodo is saying we love Toronto. That's right. We love Toronto. That's right. That's our city, the T-Dot, the Six, Hogtown, the Big Smoke. Let's go, Toronto. Toronto. I come from Toronto. Born in downtown Toronto, but raised in Tallahassee, Florida. That's this guy right here. So you're like, why does he say he's from Toronto, but he sounds like he's from the country? Well, I am from the South in some ways, just like Kevin Scott. I can get a little bit of Southern drawl, but I'm from Tallahassee raised, but Canadian born and Toronto born. Right downtown, right off the strip. That's right. Toronto forever, baby. And that's why I'm basketball first, because I never grew up in Canada. I never learned how to ice skate, but I always loved basketball because I played it and I'm very tall. And I never got indoctrinated into the NHL. I'm seriously never did. And that's part of the reason why I can solely focus on the Raptors and keep it all separated, because there's none of the jaded, cynic stuff from Leafs Nation in this dude right here. So I keep it separated and I say, look, y'all, whatever y'all been doing for decades since the 60s with y'all's franchises in the NHL, it ain't got nothing to do with me because I'm a Raptors fan and I'm going for the NBA and what I do. That's right, because I didn't grow up here. I didn't never, ever play hockey. I played basketball. And that's why I'm a real pure Toronto Raptors and NBA fan as a Canadian who lives in Toronto at this point. Yeah, let's keep going. G saying they want Ingram to feel disenfranchised. This is one thing that's true on the down low, and I want to be honest about this. In the history of the Raptors in the NBA, they will make players on our team feel like they don't want to be here through the calls with the refs. That's a way they punish them. If we get too many good, talented players on our team, they'll be like, wow, the whistle's changed since we got in Toronto. This is very different. In some ways, being on Toronto is the very hard way to go about being successful. It's not the easy route. And if you're a lazy person and you want the easier route, well, you go play for a team like the Celtics. But no, in a lot of cases, playing for the Raptors is the hardest way to go through because the refs are doing this shit on purpose. In some ways, they want to make Scotty frustrated and Brandon frustrated because maybe they'll think, oh, I don't really want to be in Toronto anymore because it's hard. They don't get any whistles. That's the thing. I'm telling you, that's why we have to draft and get players that come here that are a little bit extra and special. They can't be knuckleheads. They can't be lazy guys because when you come here, this is the harder route to have success in the NBA. And, well, we're having success through that harder route, and that's why we're badasses. But the NBA is like, wow, they're doing too well. That's why they govern us. That's why they try and hold us down with the calls and the 8 versus 5 that we've seen very, very consistently in the last 2 weeks. Most of the games we've played in the last 2 weeks, the refs have not been fair, and they have absolutely been trying to hurt us and make us lose, and they had not been successful until last night. So, yeah, keep your eyes open and watch. You'll see what I'm talking about, man. You'll see what I'm talking about. Mr. Quasimodo is saying they definitely knew that win was not deserved. Charlotte, I hope so, because they had the goofiest smiles and jubilation on their faces after the game. Well, there you go. You've won 2 games in a row, Hornets. And now you have 6 wins for the season. So, yeah, congratulations, Charles Lee. I do have respect for their coach. And, Con Knippel is an interesting player. He's annoying. And, yeah, I think that there's some storylines they're trying to write around him is what they're trying to do right now. Yeah, G saying this. I was on a live, and I didn't want to be negative, but had a terrible feeling even when Raptors were up because the refs were so out of pocket. Scotty was held down. Ingram and Yak were hacked. No foul love for us. In fact, let me go look at that the box score right now. I just want to look at this. I usually do the stars first, but I'm going to go look at the box score for the foul calls. Yeah, this is crazy, man. 26 fouls called on the Raptors for the game and only 19 for the other team. They tried to make it up as the game went on along, but they got 12 more free throw attempts than us. They beat us by 7. And to be honest, if they had evened out the free throws, we'd win this game. Even if they had given us 25 free throws, I bet you we win this game. But they gave us 17 free throws, and they gave them almost 30, 29 free throws for the Hornets. That free throw discrepancy is a huge part of what happened last night, guys, in the ref manipulation. And it really is as simple as the classic, you're calling it at this end, but you're not calling it at that end kind of bullshit. And you saw the guys in the middle of the game pointing down there. Why aren't you calling it down there? Scotty pointed, saying to Mark Davis, you're not calling it down there. And then you see Mark Davis with his goofy ass bald head talking like so smugly, like, and like when I see them like explaining stuff to the players, I'm like, what kind of bullshit are they saying out of their mouth right now? Seriously, what kind of bullshit? We saw some weird stuff last night with the refs also on the challenges. All 4 challenges yesterday were successful. And that, to me, is a symbol that there are shitty refs. I mean, seriously. And these challenges weren't even that late in the game. They started early. And both teams got 2 challenges. So there were 4 challenges for the whole entire game. All 4 challenges were successful. That means that they fucking missed calls at least 4 times on all 4 of those calls and got them absolutely wrong. Yeah. That ball went off Knipples' knee when it went out, and y'all couldn't get that fucking right? Seriously? So we had to waste a challenge just because you couldn't see that the ball went off Knipples' knee? I mean, what the fuck is that? Seriously. I mean, that should be an indicator if there are challenges and all of them are successful, that the refs are fucked up and they're not doing a good job because all 4 of them were wrong calls and they had to be corrected. That's a sign right there. I'm telling you right there. Yeah. You know what? It's tough. Last night, like, you guys got to have confidence all around. Like, seriously, let's not have doubting. If they're in weird situations, just believe in them that they'll come through it. And I know sometimes Raptors fans start getting doomsday. Oh no, the sky's falling. They start losing again. It's not the old way that we were. We have a very powerful and talented team, and we can weather this kind of stuff. So let's not get doubter energy ever. Let's just be blindly crazy and just say, no, even if the Raptors are in this situation, I think we'll still win. Until that buzzer says 0-0, just blindly and just crazy, like be denial even in some cases. No, I think we'll still win. Because there is evidence in our history we've pulled off crazy comeback wins and won games at the end of the games, so this isn't now the realm of possibility. So I want true believers as Raptor fans that we are that badass that we can win any game, and it doesn't matter if it feels weird. Just go ahead and be blind faith and just trust it. And don't, because like once you start to get that feeling, oh no, it's happening, the panic feeling, that fucking sucks. Don't do that shit. Seriously, don't get panicked. Just let the game play out and have confidence is what I'm saying. And we'll win more often than we'll lose this year. Trust me, we will. We will. That's right. Let's see. Fiercey's here. Good morning, MJ. Good morning, fam, and happy game day. Holding it down for us in the Ottawa-Gatineau region of Canada. Despite us missing multiple shots and losing the lead, I highly feel this game was predetermined and the refs were on some BS, lessons learned to take. And hopefully we won't be too exhausted on our back-to-back after an overtime game. There's some stats in the last year where the Raptors actually play better on the second night of a back-to-back. Last year, it was weird. We would lose the first night of the back-to-back, and then inexplicably, when we're supposed to be tired, we'd win the second game of the back-to-back last season. And hopefully we can have that kind of energy tonight. Who knows? Motivation after a loss is a powerful thing. And the Knicks have won 3 games in a row, and they may be kind of feeling good. And maybe, who knows? Maybe they'll take us lightly to a degree. And maybe because we're pissed because we lost our winning streak last night, we'll be coming really crazy in Madison Square Garden. Plus the bright lights of that arena, the prestige, the Mecca, the MSG. This is a big deal. In some ways, this game is always kind of get up more for because it is New York and it is Madison Square Garden. Yeah. We'll have to see what happens tonight, Fiercey. And I told y'all these games have been trap games against Charlotte this past week with the refs. They've come in, and I've known they've been bad ref crews. And yeah, it predetermined. I don't know. Maybe there is something that Adam Silver wrote on a piece of paper somewhere. Said the Raptors have to lose to the Hornets on Saturday night, Mark Davis. Yeah, they do have bullet points that they get before every game. Tim Donaghy talked about in his book that the refs get bulletin points from the league office about what to concentrate on, what to focus on. And some of it, like in the past, would be stuff like don't call any fouls on Michael Jordan. Or, if this player is doing this, don't call any fouls for them. They could very well have a little thing that says Brandon Ingram doesn't get to the free throw line today or something like that, So you don't call any fouls for Scotty Barnes in this game. No, you don't. And that we've seen games recently where Scotty did not get a single damn free throw attempt. So understand that there are pieces of paper that exist like this out in the world, that the NBA does have weird points of emphasis for the referees. Yeah. All right. We got our second call today coming in today, guys. And this one's coming from the west side of Toronto. And it is our good friend, Neil Blackhawk. Good morning, sir.
How you doing?
I'm all right. I'm okay. I was pissed last night, but in some ways, doing this show is therapy in some ways, especially with the losing years we've had in the last few years. And doing this show has always made me feel better afterwards.
I can tell you I wasn't pissed last night, to be honest. I looked at that game and I was like, this game, we're getting out coached on this game.
Don't go on that tangent. That's not what it is.
No. There was several examples where you're looking at it and you're saying, wait a second, because a lot of how we're playing is like how we're playing from the time that RJ went down. We have not adjusted this team. It's like we're continuously playing this game where we're saying, hey, give it to the best player only. And we're not trying to say, hey, we got to create advantages. We got to do the unexpected.
That is the advantage, though. If you throw it into Brandon, he's an advantage immediately.
Brandon is human.
What they got to say.
Get it all the time.
Well, Scott said this after the game, that they messed up with getting to the open spots off of Brandon when he got doubled to get found, and that it just wasn't totally clean. I mean, I'll give credit to Charles Lee, but not at the detriment of Darko. I'm sorry. I won't do that, because in some ways, look, coaches come up with fresh approaches all the time, and it was displayed in this game. In some ways, Charles Lee had a tape from the first time we played him, and he made adjustments.
Correct. Yeah. That's why I'm saying he got all coached, because those.
You don't have to make this about being a coach versus a coach. Both coaches could have coached fine. Both coaches could have coached fine. It's just that in some ways the factors led to Charles Lee.
Let me give you an example.
Well, what is your point? Like, seriously, Neil, because I'm not gonna allow bash Darko call. I'm sorry, I'm not doing that.
It is. You have to look at it the way it is, right? And I'm just.
It's one loss after 2 losses in the whole month of November. That's how I look at it. How about that?
Hey, okay. First of all, what did I say that is bad about Darko? Did I say Darko?
You don't even. All right, you could do this. No. You could bring up Charles Lee and laud him and give him flowers without bringing Darko into the conversation, because it's not necessarily a coach versus coach thing. That's not what this is exactly. Because both coaches could coach very well, and that's what matters.
You're being over controlling now.
All right, go ahead. I'll give you your speech.
I never said anything derogatory about Darko. I never said I never put him down as
Well, why even bring him up? If you want to say good things about Charles Lee,
there's things that happen in this thing, in this game, that Darko should have been able to show his team and correct them. That's what I'm showing you. No. Okay, look at the out of bounds play. And okay, look, Coach Lee calls a timeout with his last timeout and says he runs a play for Concanippo. We all see it a mile away.
You know why that went wrong? I'll tell you exactly. That's Brandon's fault. Brandon did not put his arms up. Correct. If Brandon had just put his arms up, that shot by Concanippo wouldn't have went in.
But also, Darko still had a timeout, and he used it. But before he used that timeout, right, he could have put in a more defensive lineup to say, hey, we've got to get a stop. That's what I'm showing you. Say there's another way that this could have been handled. Yes, Brandon could have put his hand up. We all agree with that.
That would have been really simple, actually. That would have changed the whole game right there. That would have won the game for the Raptors right there. Brandon had just decided to come out and close out that without his arms down. He has enough length that he would have bothered that shot, that Knippel would have missed that corner three.
Or he could have even forced a foul before he shot, and that would have been a 2-point foul instead of a 3-point game.
All right, there's a lot of woulda, coulda, shoulda happening here, but I think that the one that I'm saying is the most specific one.
No. I'm just showing you there's multiple ways that could have been happening.
Of course, right? We could be here all day talking about different permutations and outcomes and stuff like that. My whole point is right here is, all right, what do you want to go about with your phone call? Do you want to denigrate Darko, or do you want to prop up Charles?
That's not denigrating him.
This is in some ways.
First of all, you're taking it too personal. It's not.
I'm not taking it personal. I'm just saying we're not talking shit about the coach, because the coach is being very successful right now.
That's not shit. Shit about the coach is saying, hey, get rid of this coach.
Once again, I'm gonna say this: he's an NBA coach. You are not, Neil.
That's not, okay. You see, again, you're getting personal. I'm not getting personal.
I'm just saying, it's like you can nitpick Darko, but there's no reason to nitpick him right now. I'm telling you right now, there's no reason to nitpick him.
What's the use of having a show to talk about something, and then when you analyze, because that's how I'm looking at it from an analytical point of way, you're getting defensive.
I'm defensive for our team in the positive ways, because I feel like this is unnecessary noise. This is part of what I was talking about just 5 minutes ago. That's absolutely unnecessary. And in some ways, these takes are casual, man.
They're not casual.
Well, what do you want? Woulda, coulda, shoulda. All kinds of things could be different in this world right now. But we see what happens is what happens. But he can't be perfect. And once again, at the end of the game, players control a lot of it. Players control a lot of it on the court at the end in execution.
Hey, at the end of the day, it doesn't make sense having any comment or input whatsoever.
No, you can have comments. It's just that I'm.
No.
Go ahead.
I'm going to be real, because when the way that you're being defensive, it means it doesn't make sense having any comment. So
no, it does. And in some ways we could talk about this, but I think you're going about it the wrong way. I'll say this right now. Darko didn't lose us the game last night, okay?
He has a strong contribution to it.
He didn't lose us the game last night. Can you admit that? Can you admit that?
No. Strong contribution.
You want to know who missed the game for us last night? The referees, Brandon Ingram, and Emmanuel Quickly. Those are the three people.
Okay.
Because they didn't make the shots, and the refs railroaded the game to be close enough for the Hornets to even have a chance.
First of all, in a game, it's multiple mistakes lose you a game. Not just one mistake, right?
But you don't even get to that point if you blow them out earlier in the game because the refs aren't holding you down.
Okay, and I'm just showing you. In the game,
we can woulda, coulda, shoulda, all kinds of stuff. I say the refs were calling the game fairly. The Raptors would have had a 20-point lead in the fourth quarter, and we would have won. Yeah, that's the damn truth. If they gave us the same amount of free throws, that's it right there. That's the main cause right there. You know, I won't blame the refs unless I really think they did it.
Hold on a second. There's no way you can be given anything. You have to take in this.
Bullshit. They give fouls to people all the time and give them extra points at the free throw line.
Okay. You're of the opinion of living off of fouls. I'm of the opinion of you take a game. You win that game decisively.
Sure.
That's my opinion. Right?
I agree with that to a degree.
And when I look at this game, Scotty was getting fouls. Scotty was knocking down his fouls. Right? So if you see Scotty is doing great now, because Scotty only had 16 touches and over 30 points.
Okay, right? What's your goal with this call,
why
Neil?
Don't you go to him more? Is what
I said that earlier. I mean, I understand that, and I say, yeah, I would have loved to see Scott try to do something in the game. But what's your goal right now, Neil? What is your general goal with this call?
My goal, first of all, is Darko should get back to getting the team to spread the love around that ball.
It's easier when RJ's playing.
What I'm saying is he hasn't adjusted for RJ being out, and that's what needs to happen.
I don't agree with you, but that's fine.
So what you're saying is everything is going to lean over heavily towards Brandon, and the team doesn't recalculate. You can't say, hey,
no,
RJ is the only reason
they were calling Emmanuel's number as the secondary option, and that can be fraught with not totally the same consistency.
How do you know that Brandon is getting the majority of the touches?
What?
How do you know that Brandon is getting?
Because they can tabulate the touches and the shots.
Okay, if you look at it, since RJ's out, a bulk load is going towards him. All I'm showing you is that the coach is got
I understand that.
How to get the other players more involved. He's
okay,
got to figure it out.
All right, this is what I'm going to say, Neil, because I'm going to stop this call because we're just going in circles. And in some ways, I want to have a somewhat kind of decent duration of the show because I don't feel like this is worthwhile to do. What I'm going to say right now is you can have your opinion. If you want to say this, I'll mark you down as saying you think it's Darko's partly his fault. We lost last night. That's fine. We'll agree to disagree.
Well, you know what?
But I'm not going to entertain.
I'm not down with the fault business. What I'm saying is, where are the opportunities? How do you get better? Yes, I'm saying the coach should have been able to do more with them, but I can't.
What I'm going to say is this:
we got to stop going with this. This is a fault business.
Well, this is what I'm saying is y'all are being critical of the team and the players after one loss after a 9-game win streak.
Defensively, we're talking the game.
He's been doing things that work. We've been winning more than we've been losing. So there's no reason to do this right now. And you don't know what the adjustments they should make better than he knows.
Again, you're getting defensive.
No, I am defensive on this because I heard a lot of energy out last night that's mirroring your energy that's absolute horse crap.
Hey, okay, if that's the way you feel, that's the way you feel.
Because seriously, we are winning. We have a 15-5 or 6 record right now, and we're kicking major ass. And this is like, everybody wants to be a critic after one fucking loss. And I'm sick of this shit.
What are we talking about if we're not talking about
what are we talking about? We're talking about the game. We're talking about reacting to it. But in some ways, we're not woulda, coulda, shoulda, everything in this way and that way and this way. What do you want me to do? Say Darko's a shitty coach because he lost last night, even though he's lost 2 games this whole month?
Again, did you hear that narrative come from my mouth?
I heard the energy and the direction you were going. Yes.
No. You did not hear me say Darko.
If you had kept it on Charles Lee, we could have talked about it. But once you brought up Darko and you said he did a bad job coaching last night, I'm like, bullshit, he didn't.
Criticism can be launched without anybody having to say words that denigrate it.
Well, in some ways, I'm not trying to denigrate you. I apologize if you feel that way. It's just that I'm trying to say that, like, look, we don't need to have this energy right now towards our coach or our players right now. We're about to play New York, and let's let him redeem himself and do things tonight in that game. How about that?
It's not about redeeming himself. It's about adjusting the team. That's what I'm saying.
Well, for the most part, they've been adjusting the team very successfully. Last night was a hit job. And if you can't see that and you don't stop right there with everything you say about the team, I don't know what to tell you. If you want to go in deeper and say, well, Darko could have done this, Darko could have done that. We could have done a lot of different things yesterday.
They did have time off before this game, right? They did have 2 days.
Yeah, they had Turkey Day. They all went and saw their families for a day, and then they traveled from all over the place to get there.
They had 2 days off, right? They didn't just have 1 day off. They had 2 days off.
Okay.
All I'm saying is they could have learned to focus or relearn to focus their attacks so that more people are involved. The more they get involved, the harder the team is to defeat. That's all I'm showing you. And that's where the coach comes in. He's got to find ways to get them more involved. That's not pulling on him.
I think that what Scott said after the game, in some ways, he said that we needed to do better to get open for Brandon to pass out of the double team.
There are going to be times when you don't have to give the ball to Brandon is what I'm kind of pointing at.
Part of what I don't like about this, what we're doing on this call, is there's a lot of talk about what a coulda, woulda, should have been, and not what happened and reacting to what happened. I don't give a shit about what Darko could have done different. I don't give a shit about how they fucked up or anything like that. I want to talk about what happened in the game because we could have talked about all kinds of extrapolations and different things that could have happened, and it's worthless. It's almost like trade speculation.
Then there's nothing to talk about if that's
no, there is. I understand kind of your point, but also at the same time, what you're saying is asinine because they are doing what you're saying.
Don't like what I'm saying.
No, they are doing what you're saying. It's just that they're very heavy on Brandon, yes. But in your eyes, you think they're just going Brandon. That's not totally true.
Okay, go back and look at the touches.
All right, anyway, listen, I don't want to argue with you today. In some ways, I will allow you the forum, and I'm sorry if it doesn't seem like it, to talk a bit about this and bring this up. And maybe you're right. Okay, maybe he can try and do this and this a little bit better with as far as distributing the shot selection for different people.
The team more involved. That's all I'm showing you. get the
In
team
some ways, look, listen. All right, let me bring a counterpoint real quick, Neil, and just hear me out. Matt and Jack at the end of the game, what were they saying? They were saying that Jacoby, Grady, Oshai, and the rest of the bench need to fucking step up and contribute. Now, can we fucking help it if these other guys are not making their shots and helping off the bench and scoring points? And you're saying we need to get more people involved, but those motherfuckers aren't making their shots?
Hold on. I saw times when Jacoby was in that corner and the ball didn't get to him. I'm just showing.
Listen, you can nitpick every single little situation, say, you should have done this, you should have done that. We can't do this. I don't have fucking 5 hours to do this.
Hey, all right, let's end the call, all right?
All right, Neil, and I'm sorry, man. In some ways, I know I'm a little abrasive this morning, but you coming at Darko, our coach is good, and I ain't going to have an entertainment to criticize the coach like this, like you're doing right now, because this is not the energy we need, and this is not the energy that's supposed to be coming from a real fan towards the team.
No, you ain't questioning my fandom. I'm telling you that right now. You're not.
I'm just saying, because it's like, look, the energy you're giving is the same energy as those guys.
That's not energy. That's you being defensive, and that's fine. If you want to be defensive, that's all.
This is part of what I do. I stand up for the players, and I stand up for the coach. I stand up for Masai. I stand up for Bobby. Because there's a lot of just crap that people are saying. And this one is not necessary, Neil, is what I'm trying to say.
Enjoy.
Okay. I mean, if you want to believe that Darko fucked up last night, that's fine. I don't see that. Anyway, Neil, all love, man. It's just in some ways, I'm not having this. There's no reason to go at Darko for last night. There really, really isn't, is what I'm saying here right now. Peace. I'm not having it. I'm not even going to have it. That's all. That's what I'm saying. All right, let's see. Fiercely saying this. Hopefully we won't be too exhausted on a back-to-back after overtime game. Yeah, this will be tough. You know, New York's a daunting team, and there will be a real test as an Eastern Conference team. They may be one of the tougher teams for us to play in the East, for sure. So hopefully they're up for the assignment. It's a white, clean slate. Forget about last night. Let's not nitpick it. Let's move on. And let's go for tonight. And let's start really well, like we did last night. And hopefully it carries through to win tonight. That's what I'm saying right now. Yeah. Fiercely saying at some point, one of the Hornets guys literally traveled from Charlotte to Toronto, back to Charlotte with the ball. No way the refs didn't see that. Maybe one missed, but not all three. That was ridiculous. Yeah. And meanwhile, they're calling a travel bunny hop on Jacoby Walter, which was kind of like, it was a travel. But they don't call that call all the time in the NBA these days. That one travel they put on Jacoby when he tried to gather and hop. I don't know. There was, like I said, it was a very one-sided referee job last night. And that is the main reason why we lost last night. I'd say the second reason is Charles Lee did a good job. And then the third reason is we did not execute at the end of the game. Our players on the court did not execute on the game. And that the plan may have been very good. It's just that we didn't see the players execute the plan completely. And as I said in the call with Neil, I feel like a really key moment was Brandon closing out that three on Knipple in the corner. If he had just come with a little bit more energy and had these arms up a little bit more, because he had his arms down here and he didn't really come at him to block get him in his way. That could have been a huge game-defining play right there. If Brandon had been a little bit more active and getting after it on defense. And I'm sure he'll see that tape and he'll be like, damn, I was that close. If I'd really just raised my arms, I could have maybe interfered with Con Knipple's shot. And that would have changed the game completely because Con Knipple doesn't make that corner three. There's no overtime. And the game's over in regulation. The Raptors win. So, yeah, I mean, we got to look at this with the right adjustments and stuff like that. We can't just say the coach did this and this. And I understand what he's saying. I'm being defensive. You're damn right, because that's what I do on this channel. I'm a positive for the Raptors fans, Raptors team kind of fan. And in some ways, you know, I don't see any reason to come after Darko after last night. That's my whole point there. All right, let me keep going. Let's see. G saying this. Yes, Con traveled all kinds of ways too. If that's who you're talking about, Fiercey, carrying the ball too in a way the Raptors needed this, take the lead and hold it when playing 8 versus 5. Now, we've been successful beating the 8 versus 5 a lot recently, but at some point we're going to have to see just how powerful they could be. And really, honestly, in some ways, we beat ourselves last night. If we had played optimally at the end of the game, we could have closed it out and won the game just like we've proven we've been able to do before. And some of it is as simple as Brandon's shot just didn't go in at the end of the game when it had been going in most of the game. We saw some amazing shots by Brandon Ingram last night and all kinds of cool things he was doing with different spots of the floor. And then at the last 4 minutes of game, he couldn't hit anything. And that's a big problem right there. So in some ways, you could say the difference between winning that game and losing that game is Brandon, whether he's making a shot at the end of the game, and Emmanuel too, because he did have a couple shots at the end that if he had bombed and made, that game's a Raptors win. It's that simple. It's that simple right there, really. Fiercely saying, yes, learn to dominate or excel when refs are also against us, then maintain mental and physical toughness to close out games. Yeah, the closeout was not clean, and that was part of it right there. The closeout was not clean. And that was a big part of it. All right, let me see what else you guys are saying in the chat. Looks like we have some new names in the chat this morning. This is awesome. Thank you for the subs, guys. Let's see who we got next in the chat. Where am I? I'm on Fiercey. Let's see. Blackhawk. All right, I'm reading Blackhawk's comments now. Let's see what he's saying. I love the first quarter. The first quarter was amazing. And I was like, man, when they're really humming on both ends of the court, you see like these huge leads right away. And, we started way better in this Hornets game than the one in Toronto. The one in Toronto, we started not that great. But this one we did. And I was like, man, if it's going to be like this, we could really blow them out. But Mark Davis and CJ Washington very much imprinted themselves on the game right after the Raptors went crazy in the beginning. In fact, we were doing so well, they were already doing the ref manipulation, and we were still kicking their ass through it. But at a certain point, they're going to continue to call a one-sided game. It's going to catch up on us, and we won't be able, guys will get a little frustrated. Sky gets a little frustrated because he's getting hit and he's not getting any love in any kind of way for the whistle. Meanwhile, at the other end, Miles Bridges is going the line a lot. So, yeah, it's kind of crazy, man. All right, Blackhawks say Charles Lee outcoached Darko because he had his team attack BI and IQ. This was a coaching clinic. Yeah, fuck that. I can't give you that, man. Fuck that sentiment. Would you say a coaching clinic? Fuck that. That's disrespectful, Neil. Honestly, we know Charles Lee wanted this W because he benched LaMelo. Yeah, that was smart. That was smart. That was very smart coaching by him. G's saying that. I'm glad the trade RJ people are eating crow. RJ easy gets 20 points per game and very little to no plays run for him. That is a very valuable and hard to defend person. Yeah, I'll be happy when RJ's back. I'm glad he's on the road trip and he's sitting on the bench and smiling and being around the team. I wasn't even sure if he would come with them on this trip, but I guess he does need to be there. He wants to go back to New York probably and see old friends for sure. Neil's saying this, the trade RJ people are still acting up good game. They believe in leprechauns. Okay. Okay. Well, let's not pay attention to them. Smooth saying RJ was missed last night. This game shows how important he is. I agree with that, Reggie. I do indeed. Clippers lost the Mavs last night, 5-15. Yeah, they're a mess. The Clippers are not the right formula for winning the NBA. Get a bunch of old players that are often injured, and yeah, that's not it right there. That's not the formula. Neil's saying this: RJ is definitely important because it is hard to make a game plan against 4 top players, less predictable. Yeah, and like I know your point. I understand what your point is, and in some ways, I think that the diversification of our offense when RJ out there is really nice, and that they keep some more guessing. But, maybe they are leaning on Brandon too much in RJ's absence. But I think part of it is that they're trying to see how much they can lean on him and experiment with it. And, well, we hit a wall in a way of leaning on Brandon. And now, in some ways we'll adjust for that. But once again, like I said at the end of the call there, I feel like the bench really let us down last night too, that we should have had way more production from secondary guys in the game last night. So let's go ahead and do the stars of the game for the Raptors game last night. My number one star of the game last night is Scotty. Scotty by far was the best player on the court for the Raptors last night. 39 minutes, 30 points, 11 of 16 shooting, really fantastic. That's why we're questioning why we couldn't get Scott at the end of the game or even more in overtime too. 1 for 2 from 3, 7 of 8 the free throw line. He had this really good free throw streak that ended with one of the free throw misses near the end of the game. But he had made 14 free throws in the last game, all of them, and now he was 7 of 8. So wow, 21 of 22 from the free throw line in the last 2 games for Scotty. And yeah, he had 12 rebounds, so he had a double-double. 5 assists with 3 turnovers, 2 steals, and a block, a -6. Yeah, Scotty was just the best player out there. And in some ways, I wish Scotty would gravitate towards more wanting to take big shots at the end of the game. He never has. His whole entire career, he has never, ever wanted to be the big shot guy. He's always wanted to be the glue guy and doing all the winning plays throughout the whole entire game. He's much more likely to want to get a block at the end of the game than actually try and take the shot to win the game. And that's too bad, because I'd like this to evolve to him being more aggressive and calling his number and wanting the ball at the end of the game. Like, I would love for him to come in the last timeout and tell Darko, call him, give it to me. Give it to me. I'm going to put it on my shoulders and I will make this basket for us. But alas, in some ways, Scotty's got to be more aggressive to want that in his life. And I don't know if he does totally in some ways. It's a lot of responsibility. My second star of the game, I'm only doing 3 because they lost, is Jakob. Jakob in 33 minutes had 8 points. He was 4 of 6 from the field, but he's just a solid big guy. I like the assists. That's why I gave him the second star, because Jakob had 9 assists last night as the center, and that's pretty badass. Also 11 rebounds, 3 turnovers, 2 steals, and a block. He was a -5. Yeah. Man, Yak's awesome. I was really wondering why they played him last night, because I'd much rather him be fresh for tonight. Now, if we hear this afternoon that Pirtle is not playing against the Knicks, which could be very likely, guys, that is, to me, Darko signaling that he doesn't want to show our best hand against the Knicks until we play them in the knockout game on this 9th. So I think that may be a strategy that the Raptors do today, is that they don't play Yak today against the Knicks. And in some ways, people will be like questioning, why would they do that? And like stuff. Well, in some ways, maybe they want to try and beat them without him and save him for like not seeing him with us until the in-season tournament knockout round. So who knows? Who knows? Hopefully he is playing tonight, because I'd be happier if he is playing, because we have a better chance of winning whenever he's out there. And the third star of the game, I'll give to Sandro Mamu off the bench. 13 points in 19 minutes, 5 of 10 shooting, 1 of 2 from the free throw line. He made both his free throws, 3 rebounds for Sandro, a -1. Yeah, those are my 3 stars. And in some ways, I could give an honorable mention to Manuel for a lot of the work he did during the game and getting a double-double. I could give an honorable mention to Brandon for carrying and scoring a lot of points for us during the game and shooting some crazy shots. But yeah, they're just honorable mentions. I can't give them stars because the execution late was not there. It was not there. Ingram, 22 points on 40 minutes, 10 of 26 shooting. That is a lot of shots, and it's not as efficient as he's been in the month of November. 1 of 5 from 3, 1 of 2 at the free throw line, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 turnovers, a -11. Manuel, 22 points in 37 minutes, 9 of 20. Once again, not the best shooting by a lot of Raptors on this team. 3 of 8 from 3, 1 of 1 at the free throw line, 3 rebounds, 10 assists, 3 turnovers, a -5. Jacoby Walter, just, even though he started, you could throw him in with the other guys. It's like, you're just not giving us points. We need some production from you guys. And I think this is the biggest thing, is what I was trying to say, is like, it's great that you want to diversify the offense and make it more shared and be more people involved. But these guys aren't stepping up. And Jack's exactly right. We need more production from the secondary guys, and they need to show up more often, at least 1 or 2 of them every night. And Jacoby, 5 points in 27 minutes on starters minutes ain't going to cut it, man. You got to be a little bit more aggressive in trying to score, especially against a team like the Hornets, where you should be able to cook. So 1 for 3 for Jacoby from the field. He made both his free throws, 7 rebounds, 1 turnover, a -6. Colin Murray-Boyles is going through the rookie year doldrums. He's not exactly figuring it out exactly right, but there's also really good bright spots. Some of it's like in rebounding, some of it's in defense, but he still totally doesn't know what he's doing. And in some ways, he's got to learn, and that's just part of the learning curve of being a rookie. 1 point for Colin. He made a free throw, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, a turnover, and a steal. You know what? The one thing that really impressed me about Colin was, once again, he's a very good passer. And that's something, as he grows as an NBA player, that we're going to be really glad about him, is like, he has a vision and he finds people. And that's good. That's really good. He was actually one of the few guys who was a plus on our team last night. Ochai Agbaji, man, his confidence and Grady's confidence is messed up. Our 2 Jayhawks are just not right now. And in some ways, we need y'all to just go get shots, make your threes, and get some points. Baji had a dunk at the basket that he just barely missed because of a block by Kalkbrenner. And that was so annoying. I wish he had gotten that one. That would have been a huge confidence builder, and he would have felt better. But Abaji, 2 points, 1 of 5 from the field, one assist, 1 rebound, a +4. But yeah, just a tough game recently for our Kansas guys, and it's not good. Grady, 5 points on 2 of 6 shooting, 1 of 4 from 3. If he's got open threes, he needs to nail them like Battle. And I could get why some people are like, why are we playing Grady when we have Battle on the bench? Because in some ways, Battle may be hitting more of these threes than Grady is right now. And that we need to get Battle back out there as far as like taking some of these threes. So maybe Jameson should have been in the rotation last night. I don't know. What point do these guys not showing up and producing correctly, does it mean a switch out for Battle or Mobo onto the rotation minutes? I'm just wondering. Shed, not exactly great either. And that's another part where we messed up, is that Jamal Shed's been so steady and been very good, but in some ways he showed up more like those other guys last night. 23 minutes for him, 3 points on 1 of 6 shooting, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 0 turnovers, a -9 for Jamal Shed. It's just tough. We need bench production, guys. Seriously, where's the bench production? Grady and Shy and those guys right there. That's right. Let's see. Kendrick's here. Good morning, Kendrick James, Chronic Art James. He's a tattoo artist in the greater Toronto area. If you guys want any Raptors ink, Kendrick can be your guy. You just look for him on social media. Kendrick Chronic Art James. He's an artist that can be commissioned. Fuck AI. Hire Kendrick is what I'm saying. Let's start another streak tonight. That's right. That's the right attitude. Turn the page and go to the next one. That's right. Trevor's saying, I would not be late today, Lex. I'm going to be hanging out in Times Square by 1. That's right. He's going to the game. He won't be late today. I know Trevor's a very social butterfly active guy, and it may be that he had an engagement during the day on Saturday, and the Raptors game against the Hornets snuck up on him. I bet you that's what it was. Yeah, Trevor, go to Madison Square Garden tonight and bring that Raptor freak energy, my guy. I know you will. Let's get a win tonight. I hope you can bring it for us, man. We're still number 2 in the East. That's right. We may have lost last night, but we're holding that spot. Now, if we lose tonight, we might be even with the Knicks after tonight. So in some ways, there's some gumption to try and beat the Knicks tonight, is to stay on top of the Atlantic Division and keep them below us, because they will get tied with us, I believe, if we lose to them tonight and they win. I think it might be like that. Yeah. Wayne saying this. Good morning, Raptor Freaks. No success without losses. We learned a lot last night. And Darko obviously saw the flaws. Love it. Yeah. In some ways, we were doomed to lose at some point, obviously. And, well, it finally happened. I wish we could have gotten the 10-game streak, but alas, it's not the case. And, well, maybe we can get a 10-game streak still this season at some point. Now, what did we get for a 9-game winning streak? What is the Darko dinner? Is it Darko dinner in like some fantastic place somewhere around the world or something like that? It's got to be a Michelin star restaurant if you're getting a 9-game win streak. No pizza bullshit. Come on now. Let's see. Fiercey's dapping Infamous for his call today. And Trevor's saying it's the NBA. Any team on any night can beat you. Good teams, bad teams, you have to treat every opponent the same. Yeah, I agree with that. And in some ways, like, look, I think the Hornets have a couple of nice young stars, and they're trying to get it out of the mud. They have a good coach. And, well, in some ways, once again, I'm going to say that y'all were handheld last night, and it was 8 versus 5. I mean, seriously, it was like that. Neil saying this, yay, Mobo. That's why we sent you to 905. Keep shining and grow in your offense. Yeah, it's good for him. Some people were saying, why is Jonathan down there? Some people denigrate players for being on 905, but it's really important. Like Darko says, it's an extension of our roster into the 905, and there's no shame in it. It's a luxury for the Raptors to have a G League team to continue to develop guys and get them playing time on the court when they're not going to get any playing time on the main Raptors because they're healthy. So Jonathan would be wasting his time just riding around with the Raptors on the bench and not ever actually getting the games. It's better for him to go play with 905 and get like 30 minutes a game over there. That's it right there. Yeah. Wayne's saying this. I listened to Chev yesterday, and his main point, I tend to agree. Knicks game tonight is not a bellwether game. Win or lose it proves nothing with regard to the quality needed in April or May next year. This is interesting. You know, tonight is the first time we'll play the Knicks this year, but in some ways it's the home game for them. In some ways it's a trap game, just like the Sixers game. Isn't that fishy? That the first 2 times we play Philadelphia and New York are the second night of a back-to-back. That's NBA scheduling for you to try and game the Raptors to be not near the top of the Atlantic Division, because they know that in some ways to hold the Raptors down, they need us to lose to the Celtics, the Knicks, the Nets, and the Sixers. And that's why this is like in some ways very similar to the game at the beginning of this month against the Sixers on a Saturday after an in-season tournament game against the Atlanta Hawks on a Friday. And it's a travel also from Atlanta to Philly. Well, this is a Charlotte to New York travel, and it's the same kind of shit, just like that Philadelphia game we lost earlier this month to Nick Nurse and the Sixers. So be aware of that tonight. And in some ways, let's go against the odds and win this one tonight, even though it is a scheduled loss and a trap game for us by the NBA. But I think we can beat them. I really do, especially since we should be motivated after a loss. But if we do lose tonight, well, this isn't the one that really matters. The one on December the 9th is the one. And if we get a good tape from this game in all kinds of different ways, that can help us win the game that's in the knockout, because that's the one that really matters when we play the Knicks coming up soon. That's right. That's right. Wolverines 1986. Good morning. Thank you for the subscription. And let's go. Michigan. Yeah, let's go, Michigan. That's right. Blackhawks saying this. Tonight's game is gettable. I totally agree with you, Neil, on this one. Hornets just proved to you that a scheduled loss is a BS excuse. Your coach must set you up for success or you eat crow. Yeah, I don't know. They can make the odds harder for you to win if they put you on a back-to-back. Let's just put it that way. Now, I get it. The Hornets won this one after winning on Friday against the Bulls. And, you know, there's all kinds of different contributing factors here. There is. Now, in some ways, hopefully we can be like the Hornets tonight and win the second night of the back-to-back. That's what I'm hoping. Wolverine's saying this. RJ and Quickly, nice players, but not on Knicks level. Let's see. Raptors not on Knicks level. Okay, so we have a Knicks fan here. Let's see what they have to say. Knicks going to hand out a can of whoop ass on the Raptors today. Okay, well, we'll see. We'll come and see you guys. You should be worried about Brandon. Let's see. Knicks won the OG and Obi trade. All right, so we got a Knicks fan in here. He's trying to be all tough and talking trash. I mean, we got 2 starters, and y'all got 1 starter. Y'all got Precious and Malachi. Where are they? So we've got all the assets we got from you guys in the trade actively still participating in helping us. In fact, one of them was a trade, was a pick. And I believe we got a young player also with that trade also. You can believe whatever you want, Knicks fan. And you can believe whatever you want about the game tonight. But we'll see what happens tonight. That's all it is. All right, if you continue in the chat, we'll just have to see how you do. But right now, you're on notice. How about that? This is not Knicks Freak. And yeah, we go ahead and allow a little smack talk right now. That's fine. Blackhawks saying, Lex, they're not fake fans. They're immature fans. No, there's actually literally bots at this point. Seriously, there's literally bots and everything online at this point. There's a lot of stuff that is not real on the internet at this point, whether it's AI, whether it's fake voices, whether it's doctored videos, whether it's comment sections and all social media on all subjects. There's crazy people out there. They want to influence people through perception and comment sections. And a lot of it's just peacocking MAGA bullshit and right-wing stuff and racist stuff. And, well, there is the equivalent in the sports world because people care about sports. What if a guy like Wolverine, 1986, has a bot farm and he just makes it do all kinds of crazy stuff? You have to understand this technology exists. And this is part of what's going on here, guys. There are also immature fans, you're right, that are just kind of childish and overreactive. You're exactly right on that too. There's a difference. Immature fans don't know basketball, so they point fingers instead of understanding the game. Yeah, I mean, that's fair too. I'm just saying that the bot stuff is something that's more new, and it's something that we all need to understand. I mean, the revealing of the origins of accounts on Twitter has very much exposed the world of fakery and manipulation by all kinds of fake-ass shit out there. Like, you know, it's crazy. If you've paid attention to that scandal with the Twitter and the origins of a lot of accounts on Twitter, Well, you see exactly the evidence of what I'm talking about right here. That's right. Wayne saying this, Blackhawk, I read your subliminal messaging, understand quite well. We agree because it was obvious. I tend to like these losses. Keep you grounded. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you got to have, there's going to be losses coming at some point. And in some ways, I'd rather lose to the Hornets than the Knicks. So I want to kick the Knicks' ass tonight. That's the silver lining. That's part of it. Hopefully we will kick their ass tonight. Yeah. Absolutely keeps you grounded when you're humble and grow from it. Yeah. And that's part of this too. For sure, Neil, you're right. We're humble and we'll learn from this game last night, especially with the tape. All right, let's see. NBA is rigged. I'll agree with you on that, Wolverines. Luka trade, sure. I agree with the Knicks fan on that. Questionable officiating, of course. Gambling, scandals, yeah. Parlays, there's always some weird shit with free throws sometimes at the end of quarters and halves, Wolverine. Have you noticed that? Like where the refs may want to try and manipulate the point spread, even just at the end of a quarter, just to try and get it the right way in certain ways. Yeah, all you need to know about the NBA is rigged. Yeah, not shitty refs. NBA is rigged. That's what I'm saying. It's the same thing, isn't it? Shitty refs are part of the rigging of the NBA. It's part of it right there. Let's see. Good game saying this. RJ, 19.4 points per game. Oh, he's giving the stats to our Knicks fan to prove like how he feels about it or sees it, OG stats versus RJ's and manual stats. I won't read all that because some of it's kind of tough to read through. But yeah, and he's also saying that amazing defender, OG's an amazing defender, but RJ and IQ both rebound and assist more. Both teams won. I think that most people think that from both Raptors and Knicks nations, but some people have to win. They can go ahead and think that, but I think it was a winning trade for both teams. And, you can't deny that RJ Barrett and Emmanuel Quickley are getting better on the Raptors since they've been on the Knicks. That is true. That is very, very true. Wayne's saying this. At one time, it was 18-5 in favor of the Hornets. It's really terrible. Yeah, that's the ref hit job at the beginning with the call and the whistle favoring them so heavy. 18 foul calls on the Raptors and only 5 on the Hornets. And we're not getting any easy shots at the free throw line or any love at all. And that can be very frustrating. And in some ways, that can play on your mind mentally. Oh, yeah, the refs are against us too. And that's part of it right there. That's part of it. Wolverines is saying this. Cat has the worst whistle in the league on both ends. Okay. All right. Let me keep going. Blackhawks saying this. Scotty was great at his free throws. This is why this was Scotty's game. RJ is out, so there are more shots to go around. However, Darko has not worked it out with the players to share the ball more. They have a protocol. And that's what I was trying to say, even on the phone, is they have a protocol and they're going to work it around the way that they do. But let's not get it twisted. An emphasis on Brandon as a priority person to touch the ball is important because, and he's not totally a ball hog. It's just that, the Hornets have shown that they don't want to double Brandon Ingram in the 2 games we played them recently. And that means Brandon should be taking the shots. So in some ways, that's why he gets 36 shots all of a sudden. Is because, as Darko said, pick your poison. You don't double him, he's going to shoot. And that's what they were deciding once again. And in the first game against the Hornets, Brandon hit those shots. But in this one, he didn't. And that's part of the difference also there. The protocol is if Brandon is not doubled, he needs to shoot. And a player of his caliber, that's right. And you can act like, oh, no, he's being selfish. They're not distributing the shots more. But that's what they want to do. That's part of the game plan. And even if you think that's a faulty game plan, forgive Darko for wanting to feed the most offensively talented player in his team to take the shots, because that's it. I mean, if they were doubling him, Brandon probably would have found the other guys better in some ways at some times, So let's keep going. G saying this. Let's see. Sorry, meant both assists more, not rebound more. Win-win for both sides. I agree. I think that it's a win-win for both sides. I won't denigrate OG Anunoby. He's a fantastic player, a great Raptors champion, not a Knicks champion. He's a Raptors champion. Let's get that right. And, I won't denigrate our OG. I think OG's fantastic. He is hurt right now. And I don't see why we can't both win the trade. I don't see why we can't, but somebody has to, they're maybe insecure and they have to feel like they want it. I think that's what that is right there. Wolverine's saying Knicks fans, same thing. They are doom and gloom. They want Cat traded already. If I was a Knicks fan, I probably would too. I would have never wanted him in the first place. Seriously. I don't think he's the winning kind of player. I think that in some ways he fucked up Minnesota for many years. on the down low. And in some ways, he's doing the same for y'all. I also don't think Brunson's good for you guys either. I think he's a real Achilles heel, and he can be subjugated. And the Pacers showed that last year in the playoffs. So, I never agreed with you guys getting rid of Hartenstein. I felt like the best version of the Knicks was when you got OG and you had Isaiah still, and those two guys were playing next to each other. You should have prioritized iHeart. You should have never fucking went after Mikal Bridges or Cat. And if you'd built around that nucleus, you guys would be a way better team right now. That's my honest opinion about the Knicks. Y'all are always trying to do too much. Like you kind of move too much too fast. It's like sink in with OG and iHeart and see where that Knicks would have gone. But you didn't prioritize Hartenstein in some ways, and you wanted to collect Villanova players, and that was stupid. In some ways, I don't agree with y'all getting Bridges or Cat, and I think that that's where y'all have been mismanaged. Plus, we tricked y'all into firing your coach last year, and y'all should have never fired Tom Thibodeau. That was stupid. He's gotten y'all the furthest y'all have been since like the 90s in the playoffs, finally. And he's like one of the few guys who can handle the pressure cooker of coaching in New York. And y'all mistreat him so badly. And what do you get? He goes to the Celtics and starts consulting and helping them all of a sudden this year. So it's like, yeah, I don't think that y'all run your team right. And I know it's James Dolan. It's not y'all's fault. And I know that y'all would get rid of James Dolan as soon as you could. But yeah, y'all overdid shit. And in some ways, that's the problem with y'all's team. Is you overdid shit. You should have stopped a couple steps into what you were doing and just gone with what you had there. Because seriously, look at Hartenstein. He's a champion now already. And y'all should have kept Isaiah. That's the biggest fuck up y'all made the last couple of years. Also, firing your coach. Those are the top two right there. All right, let's keep going. Let's see. We didn't win because we missed out on opportunities. We missed, and those were the opportunities. We missed shots. You make those shots, we win. G saying this: immaturity and lack of self-regulation and ego for bragging rights and trolling are why some fans way overreact and go crazy after a loss. If you identify your life with whether you're a loser or winner just solely on whether the Raptors win, you're sad. And stop doing that. Stop doing that. Keep it separated. Your identity is not the Raptors winning or losing. And if they lose and it hurts you because you feel like you're a loser for it, stop. Why are you doing that to yourself? It's ridiculous. Power 35's back in the chat. Good to see a great Raptor freak here. We lose some and we win some. Still have to appreciate the hard work from our players, especially going on a 9-game winning streak. We just have to relax and prepare for the Knicks. Exactly. Let's keep it all in perspective. You know, it's one game, it's one L, and how many W's do we have so far this season? And how often has Brandon and Emmanuel been successful this year? How often has Darko been successful this year? And let's keep it all in the big picture. And, this is, it's a learning experience, and we can take a lot from it. So, yeah, I'm with Power on this. I think that the accomplishment of the winning streak should in some ways be celebrated as it dies and it goes away last night. In some ways, we should be like, wow, we just won 9 in a row, guys. And in the last few years, we were dying just to win 3 in a row. And we just won 9 in the row. Let's keep it all in perspective, Raptors Nation. Let's keep it all in perspective. Wolverine's saying this. We got Knicks guy here. Knicks are bound to pass the Raptors in the standings for good this year. I don't know about that, my guy. I don't know. I don't know if we could take that bet. Tonight, y'all may get even with us, but who knows? Maybe not. Maybe we'll get another game ahead of y'all tonight. We'll have to see. We'll see it out on the court. All right, see, Seymour's being a sheriff. He's laughing. And it looks like Sheriff has thrown the wrench at him. Let's just see one more from him. He's already cutting him out. Knicks about to pass the Raptors in the standings for good this year. Oh, so because he double duplicated. I see why. Okay, yeah, I get it. Cool Cat is here. The coach, Cool Cat, is in the house. How are you today, Cool Cat? Good morning, Raptor Freak crew. And Kaloy is here. Come on, people, take this loss to the chin. Okay. Let's have some respect for ourselves and not overreact in weird ways. Seymour Pape is saying, last night we played with our food. We will be fine. Just got to stay focused, moving on up. I think that they're going to come out with a kind of like, yeah, we want to get that taste out of our mouth from last night. It was bullshit. And we want to get back on the right side of things. And, well, Knicks, you're next. And we're going to see that tonight. I'll bet you money tonight. We'll see that. Cool Cat's saying the game shows that we are missing RJ on the team. His constant aggression on offense. Everyone knows he's driving left to the rim and still can't stop him. Yeah. I mean, I think that is a really good point. That in his absence, we're seeing what he brings and what we need. The half-court stuff, being able to score, the transition stuff is fantastic. Yeah, there's so much about RJ we need back. That's right. Yeah, Wolverine's saying Like this caller's fire. Don't back down, caller. Well, there's a little bit of entertainment and like some controversy and maybe a little bit of conflict. But just so you know, even if I pissed off Neil today, I consider him a very good friend. And I'm sorry, Neil, if I made you upset. But yeah, this is a fiery show sometimes. And in some ways, we got a little bit of fireworks. But in some ways, there's a lot of respect that I have for Neil, even if it didn't seem like I was showing him that there. I do really love Neil a lot. And well, in some ways, I got to protect Darko. That's part of it too. Cool Cat saying this: lessons learned about losing, focus on the game. Let's regroup and beat New York. That's right. That's right. We're going to beat New York tonight. This guy's laughing at us. We'll see who's laughing last at the end of the night, man. I'm telling you right now. Seymour saying this. Exactly, Cool Cat. And was saying, I agree. Brandon need to put his hands up. That would have been an easy, simple fix. Like Conca Nipple is really good money with threes. And Brandon was right there. And he had his arms down like this. Eagles, Brandon. Eagles. Just why didn't you put your arms up? You may have changed the whole entire game right there. You know, the Wolverines saying Hornets a tanking lottery team. No excuses. Yeah, I mean, I won't disagree with you. They're not tanking, though. They're a lottery team, but I don't know if they're tanking. They are trying to win. I don't think they're trying to lose on purpose. Game should have never been this close with tanking lottery team Hornets. Well, you can talk to Mark Davis about that. You can talk about Mark Davis about that. Seymour saying this: Knicks have some crazy losses too this season, but you're just here to be a bug on the wall. I'm sure the Knicks have been up and down, and in some ways, like, look, you know, we have a better record than y'all, and we are the top of the Atlantic Division, motherfucker. So take that, Wolverine. Wayne said this, didn't want to say it, but Lex admitted it. Missed shots by BI and IQ. But it's basketball, and you make or miss shots. They make their shots. They're heroes. We're not outplayed or dominated, just a loss. Yeah, those baskets go in. Even Darko said after the game, there were some shots that normally we would make that just didn't go in. And open shots by Grady, open shots by Oshai, open shots by Walter, open shots by Shed, open shots by Emmanuel, open shots by Brandon, open shots by I don't know who else. I mean, those are basically the main guys that could have hit some open shots that would have helped the team last night. And that's a long list. That's a good percentage of most of our guys. The other guys did pretty good at hitting their shots. I'd say Scotty, Jakob, and Sandro, for the most part, hit their shots correctly. But the rest of them did not. The rest of them did not shoot right in some ways. I'm just saying. G saying this, easy there, Knicks fan. Worry about being able to beat the Magic and Bulls this year. Yeah. We're going to probably kick the Knicks' ass tonight. I really do see it. I'm just saying, I kind of see your point. I see both of your points. Well, and I get what he's trying to say. And I know that Neil has the best interests of the team at heart. It's just I am super protective for Darko. He's right. And in some ways, it's just I don't get a no-go. He's better off making those points in the comments, so I have to read them. But if I have to hear them on the phone, I might argue with him at that time and not want him to talk. And that is kind of rude. I apologize, Neil, if I was rude on that call. In some ways, I apologize. But yeah, if you want to get your points across some more in the comments, I mean, I kind of want to drop the subject. But yeah, you're right. In some ways, why I have the forum if I'm not even going to let you speak. I'll try and do better next time. I promise. I will. This is fire. Yeah, you like the arguing. Medved Ted is here. Good morning, Medved. Are we forgetting we were down one of our top scorers in RJ? I don't get some of these fans trashing the team after one loss. Yeah, they're not really fans. Honestly, I'm telling you, there's a lot of people that come into spaces just to kick us while we're down. And that is part of it right there. If they are like weird fans, they're kind of hateful fans, why are you even bothering to be around and stuff like that? It's kind of crazy. Why are you even trying to be here? That's right. Let's see. Wolverine's saying Knicks fans are even worse. There's a lot of toxicness in different fan nations, and they have the same qualities. You know, Lakers Nation is crazy. Yeah, Knicks Nation is pretty crazy too. Respect, man. At least you're kind of getting along with us, Wolverine. I know you're talking a little trash. I'll allow it. It's fine. It's good for fun. Let's see. Chloe saying, fools already had trade IQ threads in Reddit. Not even 5 seconds after the game. People don't know how to take losses. And I hate that picture of Darko winding back at Emmanuel. It just shows up all the time now. When Emmanuel does something bad in the game. Now these people on Reddit are posting all these crazy ass pictures of Darko winding up against him at that one day in the locker room. Don't ever wind up against a player again like that, Darko. You give this picture this like life that's so stupid. I hate that picture. That one picture of Emmanuel recoiling back and Darko going like this. I'm like, why did that have to happen? Why did that have to happen? Yeah, let's see. Wolverine saying Knicks fans want Towns off the team. I mean, I would too if I was there. I really don't. I think he's soft, and I think that he's a fake big man. And in some ways, he does you a disservice because he takes your 5 position. He's so paid highly, and he's not a good defender on the inside. And in some ways, he's a fool's gold. In some ways, y'all need Mitchell as a better defender. In some ways, like I would respect y'all's team better if y'all started Mitchell at starting, and you didn't even get Cat and some of the assets that you traded, like Randall and DiVincenzo. I mean, you should have Dante on your team still. Honestly, I would have kept him on your team. I would never have gotten Cat. This just smacks of New York over making moves that they don't need to move, that absolutely are the reason why they fuck themselves up. Seriously. So I agree with those Knicks fans when they're saying they don't want Cat on the team. Yeah, y'all shouldn't have Cat because he's going to hurt y'all. In fact, the center and the point guard positions are your 2 Achilles heels. Jalen Brunson will never win an NBA championship because he's got a huge glaring weakness. And everybody knows what it is, and we all exploit it when we get to play y'all. In fact, I hope we do tonight. I'd like to see that. We'll go ahead and show you an example of why Jalen Brunson is a problem for you guys, not for the rest of the league. That's right. Let's see. Infamous is saying this. This is a classic case of respect your opponent. Anyone can beat you if you play with the we're supposed to win attitude. I mean, you just got to take care of business. I won't say that the Raptors weren't online to win this game. It's just execution did not come through. They could have won this game if they'd done a couple things just a little bit differently. They could have done it the right way and not lost this game. But there were a lot of things that had to happen to help the Hornets win. They had to have the refs' help. Seriously, they won't beat us without the refs' help last night. Seriously. G saying this, last year we were happy to win 3 in a row. Exactly. I said this earlier. This is crazy. We just won 9 in a row. Losses will happen. You learn more from losses than wins sometimes. Take this personally and go on another run. That's right. Well, hopefully we'll see that. Raptors Champs is in the house. Great new Raptor freak. Raptors Champs. Good to see you, man. Brandon shouldn't need to watch film. I would like to know what he was thinking. Why wouldn't you raise your hands? And we need RJ back to keep the ball moving. Yeah, I'm sure Brandon's very fair with his part in what happened last night. And, the missed shots are one thing, but that defensive assignment, that's really easy to do. And you know what? Hopefully we'll see a different kind of thing in that kind of situation in the future with Ingram specifically. I mean, he'll get it. In some ways it's maybe like old habits die hard. And maybe it's like, remember, you're on the Raptors. You're not on the Pelicans anymore. And we close out with our arms up. Just remember that. That may be the part of the assignment that we need to remind him today. And I'm sure he understands himself. And some he may not even need to point it out. Brandon may be like very accountable and saying that, yeah, guys, I'm sorry I didn't close out on Knibble better there. Yeah. Isaac Campbell's in the house, holding it down in the capital of Canada, Ottawa, Ontario, the great country of Canada. Sometimes you miss 9 shots in a row, and sometimes you win 9 games in a row. But at the end of the day, the Charlotte Hornets still suck. And those refs have to live with their bad taste in food and music. That's so good, man. That is so good. That is gold, man. I got to give this man some dunks for this. That's not just one dunk. That is hilarious what he just said. These refs have to live with their bad taste in music. Oh, my gosh. All right, we're going to give you a 30. I'm going to give you a 30. You're at 185, Isaac, because, man, that is hilarious, man. This dude is hilarious, man. All the best to you, bro. Power saying to start attacking Scotty and BI because of a loss is serial. Like, there's a lot of ops within our community. There's for sure a lot of ops within our community. And that's why I wanted to carve out this space like this. I mean, there's ops within the company that the Raptors are a part of. Seriously, MLSE has ops inside their company that absolutely don't want the Raptors to be successful. And that's part of the reason why Rob Babcock traded Vince Carter way back in the day, y'all, is because there were people that were involved in our team management that wanted to hurt the Raptors from the inside. And that's why Masai Ujiri was so important in the Raptors' history, because he stopped all that shit. He was the one who was actually like, yeah, no, we're going to run this right and we're going to get it right. And that's why I love Masai forever. So, yeah, there's ops in our fan nation. There's ops in the MLSE. There's ops on the TV channels and the media. And Michael Grange is an op, isn't he? It's like, yeah, we got ops all over the place. And that's why in some ways we're an underdog. We're not only just an underdog in the United States as the only Canadian team. We're an underdog in Canada because we're not a hockey team. So that's something that everybody needs to realize is the Raptors are really not liked by a lot of people around a lot of places. So, you know, that's why I want to have this channel is because we need a positive place to talk about the Raptors away from that kind of shit and really like get a pure thing talking about all this to really be fans and really root for them in a positive way. Because there's so much negativity and messed up stuff in other places for sure, Power, for sure. Wolverine's saying you gave up OG Anunoby. No, we didn't. We didn't give him up. We got RJ and Emmanuel, 2 starters. And RJ Barrett is a way better Raptor than a Knick. You have to admit that. You have to admit that. He's opened up his game more defensively this year, and he's way more efficient on his offense. And some Knicks fans hate that. Absolutely hate that. They're like, why is RJ doing so well in Toronto when he couldn't do it here? Well, part of it is that he grew more as a player because he's a young man who's continuing to get better and better. But also part of it is our scheme and how we used him is way better than how y'all were using him. And in some ways, that's part of it. Also, there's an added benefit that he plays for his hometown team, and maybe he's playing a little harder for us than he did when he played for y'all. How about that? How about that? That's right. Gave up on Anunoby? Nah, we developed Anunoby to who he is. You don't get Anunoby without Toronto developing him to this point. So you should thank us. How about that? Kenrick's saying this. They have to get back to the crisp ball movement and cutting off screens with energy. We cannot rely on iso ball during the regular season. Yeah, let me go look at the box score real quick in that case for the Raptors. I kind of looked at it already. You know, the assist number is still 34 for the Raptors last night. So it's pretty good. That's a sign that they were getting the ball around, guys. They got 30-plus assists. So, I mean, it was deceiving. I think that in some ways we're just remembering the last part of the game where it seemed like it was very much isolation, just take this shot. I really wish Emmanuel had not taken that transition 3 at that point in time. I really wish he had. And that turnover he had where he wasn't realizing the defender was coming behind him, that was a reckless play also. But I love Emmanuel. He's good for our team. And this is where you kind of say, like, all right, we'll criticize him for a couple of plays where he didn't do things exactly right. But that doesn't mean we want him off our team and we're going after him like some people are. I mean, you could say that's fair. Like that turnover where he lost the ball from the guy coming behind him, that was really a game killer in some ways. And, well, he knows that himself, I'm sure. Once again, our guys are accountable, and they'll feel that. And in some ways, that'll motivate them to do better tonight. That's what I'm saying right there. Thanks, Kenrick, for the comment right there. Yeah. Smooth saying this. The West is horrible this year. Lakers going to run up their records. Some really, really bad teams. I don't know, man. I'll never believe in the Lakers. I believe they're manufactured and lucky in some ways and whatever. We'll see. I want to see them this week. See them up close when they come to Scotiabank Arena on Thursday. And we'll see how they are. Smooth saying Raptors can maintain the 2-3 seed, I think. East is bad, too. Not as bad as the West, though. See, I thought that in some ways the East was worse than the West. Seriously? So there's really a couple of really good teams in the West, and there's really a lot of bad teams? I don't think that's totally true. I think the West is still stronger than the East overall. For some reason, I get that feeling. Power's saying it's just one loss. We really need to stop hitting the panic button, for sure. And that's part of the reason why I do this every morning. I mean, when we were losing more in the recent years, this job doing this show is tough because some ways it's part therapy session, it's part information seminar, and it's part just kind of like, yeah, put your chin up and just be like, yeah, it's fine. We're going to continue to grow and rebuild, and we're going to be fine, okay. This season's way easier than last year or the year before. Trust me. Trust me, it is. That's right. It's just basketball. The shot's not going to fall all the time, and that's kind of what happened last night. That's kind of what happened right there. That's right. Mischief's here. Good to see the base man. Did Sandro Mamukelashvili get injured in the fourth? I never seen him in the fourth. Just Pirtle. Jakob Pirtle looked really tired in the fourth quarter. Musa Diabate looks like he's fast enough to guard 1 through 5. That's interesting. Yeah, we were supposed to scout Diabate as a possible target to try and get on the Raptors. I don't know. I wasn't totally as keen on him last night. As far as like, I don't think he's a true big. I think that he's in some ways he's smaller because in some ways he was out there playing against people like Jacoby Walter, and he didn't look bigger than them. So I don't know if Diabate, even though he's got strength and he's been a very much a shit disturber for the Hornets in both the games we played against him, I don't know if he's the right player for the Raptors to get as the third big. I don't think, and he may not even be available. It seems like they are valuing him, and that in some ways they're going to probably want to keep him around in Charlotte. So, but it's weird. Yeah, I don't think Sandro played much near the end of the game. I think you're right. Smooth saying this, it's only one loss. It happens. That's right. G saying, I agree with both of you. Coach adjustments are also part of learning. At the same time, spreading the ball around is easier with consistent scores. Walter, Oshai, Grady, etc. are not being consistent right now. Yeah, it sucks, man. Grady, come on, please. When you hit a three, I'm just so happy for you. But when it just seems like there's other shots that you should have made exactly because they were so wide open, you don't. That's the problem too. Seriously, Grady. I know you built up your arms and maybe you're adjusting to the strength in your shot and your arms now, and that's why you're a little bit off. But you have to find that sure shot once again, man, because that is your biggest strength as an NBA player. And without that sure shot, in some ways, it's trouble. I would suggest this to Grady Dick. Stop shooting threes first. When you get the ball, try and make a shot closer to the basket to open up that can of whoop ass so that you can shoot better from the outside. That's the classic way to do things. Every time a player comes out and they just start cold bombing threes right at the beginning, I'm like, I hate this. This is never was a thing in the old NBA. They always built the game back from the front and build it out to the outside. You go to the hole, you get a closer shot, at least a mid-range, or get in there and do a little weird do-si-do, Grady Dick, where you get a layup or a reverse layup, or maybe you get a little turnaround that's a mid-range, but then take your three because you're coming in cold, you're shooting the three, you're missing the threes, and then you're just useless for the rest of the game. So build your offense, Grady, by taking an easier shot and then take your three because then you have more confidence. Because in some ways you made a closer shot last night and then you made a three. And I'm just saying that's what I want to see. I want to see that more right there. That's right. HC saying this, IQ didn't seem to be able to defend Bridges. They just attacked him. Well, you know, these guys were right. They called me today that they were targeting IQ at the end of the game by getting them switched on to Miles Bridges, and then Miles Bridges was taking them to school. That's a tough thing. Like, do you take Emmanuel out at that point? I don't know. In some ways, it was a smart decision by Charles Lee. And, you know, Miles Bridges is annoying as fuck. In some ways, they should have been like, you know what I would have done? You know, Scotty was guarding Brandon Miller. Fuck that. Put him on Miles Bridges. Seriously. Especially because Miller and Ball were not playing that great last night, either one of them. And Miles Bridges was the real problem person. Although Scotty was on Con. That was part of it, too. Was that Scotty was running around on Con a lot, too, in the late in the game. But I wish Scotty had been on Bridges. I wish he had been on Bridges. That would have made it better. Cream's here. Good to see Cream Thomas. Sorry about that bad vibe in the chat yesterday. Yeah, I wasn't even going to bring it up. I know I was going to say that. I was watching 905 with Monique and Blake Murphy, and Kareem comes in and he says, I can't watch the Raptors game anymore. I'm pissed off, and saying all this crazy negative stuff. And I was like, no, don't do that. Don't break the doubting. Don't be doubting the Raptors at this point. And that doubt seeps in, and then bad things happen. And Kareem Thomas was like, I'll take the L. It's on me, guys, that the Raptors lost. I'm like, man, don't do that. You don't need to do that. I wasn't even going to bring it up, Cream. I said I was going to. And at that time, I was kind of pissed at you. But I'm also kind of like, you know what? It doesn't have anything to do with Kareem Thomas. What happened in the Raptors game last night? That's just weird, superstitious bullshit. You know, like I have a weird thing. If you're going to watch the game with me, you can't leave during the game at all. You come and sit down and watch a Raptors game with me at my place. Don't, like, you can go to the bathroom, sure. But if you decide you want to do another activity and not watch the whole entire game with me, I'm pissed because I get superstitious and you can't leave or go or come back or whatever. I want you to be there for the whole game, watch the game, because I will get like weird. Like if you leave and you don't watch the whole game with me and they start losing afterward, I will blame you for it. I will blame you for it. It's a little bit of that weird superstition. HC saying this, it was a bad game for everyone. We got lax and didn't secure the kill after the third. Thought it would be easy. Yeah, maybe a little bit of that. I don't know. Darko said they were tired to an extent, which I don't understand why they would be more tired than the Hornets. But Anyway, either way, I mean, the execution did not come through to get the W. Wayne saying this, think I'm allowed one negative point. Oshai, he was overplayed on the court way too long when his contribution was absent. I don't worry about Grady. He plays hard anyway. We have outgrown Oshai. Man, if he doesn't score, that's fine. If he can lock down Miles Bridges, that's good. Like, I'll take that trade. Either one of you guys, Walter or Abaji. You guys don't score anything, but you stop Miles Bridges from scoring like 30 points. That's a contribution to winning. Would take from either one of those guys. So I don't know. Is Abaji in this weird no man's land where he's not totally playing good defense because he's scared about his offense? He's trying to do more on offense, so he's not shoring up his defense. I'd say be like Walter, defense first, and the offense will come later. But we need both y'all to be good defensive stoppers. And that's what y'all really been most consistent with, Walter and Abaji. So, yeah. Medved Ted saying Hornets had 10 more three-point attempts than us, too, yet somehow were awarded 29 free throws to a 17. BS officiating. Yeah, Jack made that point in the game that these guys are shooting outside. We're going inside, and they're getting more free throw attempts than us. That's not normally the case in basketball. If you're going inside to initiate contact, you should be going to the line. But there was a lot of swallowing the whistle, and a lot of times, especially with Scott right now, because Scotty is playing like Karl Malone, he's going to get Shaq fouled. And that means people are going to be hitting him left and right. They won't call anything because he's so strong, and he can just beat them anyway. So they expect Scott to go through the contact and they won't call the whistle. But, yeah, this was a very pointed refereed game last night. Very, very pointed, yeah. Mischief saying it's really important the Raptors stretch before the game after back-to-backs. Before every game, look what happened to RJ. He got injured just dunking the ball. Yeah, I mean, I think they do this. I think they do. Raptors champ said OG is injury prone. Done. That's a good point. Smooth saying this. Knicks would be smart and trade Cat and OG for Giannis. Giannis on the Knicks, if that happens, would be very interesting. I don't know if he wants to play for them, though. I think he's publicly said, like, he does really want to stay in Milwaukee. And I think there are certain teams that Giannis would not want to play for. And I don't know. Maybe Toronto is one of those teams now. I mean, if Masai was here, he would. But I don't think now. I think he'd be interested in playing for Toronto because he views us as the enemy. And we have caused him a lot of misery in the playoffs and put him out every single time we played him. They've never beaten us in the playoffs, the Bucks. So I don't think Giannis would play for us at this point. Would he play for the Knicks? The same kind of reason, because in some ways he sees them as the enemy. Because Giannis is like that. He's not the normal kind of NBA player. He's a guy who's very kind of tribal for his team and his people. And he's not trying to make friends around the league. It'd be interesting to see what happens with the Bucks and possibilities for Giannis at the end of the year. And the Knicks are definitely near the top of the list of possible places where he could end up. But yeah, it's going to be a high price to pay. Let's see. Knicks couldn't have resigned Hartenstein. OKC had the most money. I mean, I would have made that priority. I would have cut somebody. I would have done anything to do that, man. Because seriously, y'all, that synergy y'all had on rebounding with iHeart and OG was just so OP. You guys won so much after the OG trade because of that synergy. I don't know how you could have done it. I would have figured it out. I wouldn't have been trying to get extra guys and do all this. I would have prioritized iHeart. I really would have. Let's see. Smooth saying this. Giannis is a generational player, and he wants to be there. He wants to be in Milwaukee. He does want to be in Milwaukee. Wolverines is saying Mike Brown is worse than Tibbs. I mean, I could have called that. I thought that anybody you would get would not be able to suffice to what Tibbs was able to do with you guys. I know that he overplayed your starters. He's a really kind of maniacal, defensive, tough, old school coach. But in some ways, that's the kind of coach y'all need in New York. Now, if he could have maybe balanced the starter minutes a little bit better and done better things like with that, you guys would have had better outcomes for sure. It's similar to like us with Nick Nurse and even what he's doing in Philly right now, man. But I knew whoever took the job after him, in some ways, it's like it'll be hard to measure up to Thibodeau. And the other thing is y'all's fan nation, like you said, Wolverines, is very tough to get approval from. And that's the hard thing. You have a new coach come in. They have to prove themselves all over again. And the Knicks fans can be very tough, very, very tough. So at least Mike Brown's winning and doing really well. If he wasn't, things would be really bad, like Dallas bad. What's happening with the Mavericks so far this season? Yeah, it would be bad. So we're saying this: OG is an injured player, can't rely on him. We love OG. Let's not diss on OG. There's no way to keep Hartenstein. Well, this sucks. That's bad management by Leon Rose. Then that's bad management. If there was no way to keep iHeart, how would you not understand that dude is so important to your team? That's how I feel about it. Anyway, woulda, coulda, shoulda. We can't do anything about it now. And, well, you just got to go forward with that. But that was the best Knicks team. I was like, damn, this Knicks team is absolutely scary at this point. When y'all got OG, I was like, fuck, man, the Knicks are finally here. But then y'all over moved stuff. And I was like, wait, I'm not as scared of the Knicks all of a sudden now. It's weird. It's weird. Let's see. Blackhawks saying Jamal, Grady, and Oshai have to get cleaner in the paint or move that ball. They got floor time, and they got to take advantage of it. Focus. Seriously, they can make themselves distinguish themselves in this whole glut of the 2-3 position on the Raptors. Somebody's going to keep being a Raptor, and some people are not. So it's like, who wants to continue to be a Raptor and continue to play for Toronto Raptors? Well, step up and start showing your mettle and showing who you are, so we feel good about investing in you in the next contract. Grady Dick, Oshai Abaji, Jacoby Walter. Yeah, I'm talking to you guys in specifics. That's right. That's right. James is here. I seen on Real GM, offensive rating went down to last in league, result of no RJ in the lineup for the last 3 games. Yeah, sometimes these temporary stats or like just little small periods of time stats, they're not really good to just kind of harp on because they're just such a little snapshot. But I could see that going down because of his absence. I could. Smooth saying it would be cool to beat New York in their own house, though. Yeah, I'd love that too. Hopefully the Raptors remembers what Cat did to them last year. Once again, remember, Cat only did that because his whole entire career with the Timberwolves, he never won in Toronto. So that's why he acted like he won a championship when he beat us with the Knicks finally on the home court in Scotiabank Arena. Because Cat had never won in Toronto his whole entire career until last year. That's part of the reason why he was acting like that. But yeah, we should remember that he did that too. That's right. Is RJ questionable tonight? He's not playing. He's out. He's out. I can do the injury report again. Let me just see if I can get the update on it and see if there's any changes to either one. Kevin McCullar is a day-to-day. It's his nose. Is a two-way over the Knicks. Landry Shamet is still out due to his shoulder, and OG's out on that side. And on our side, it's just RJ's out. RJ is out for sure tonight. Yeah, he is out. But everybody else should be available, and there's nothing listed about Jakob on a back-to-back. That's it right there. Yeah, let's see. Infamous is saying Raptors and Knicks are on different timelines. Knicks need to win now. They have to at least make it to the finals. Anything less is considered a failure. Yeah, I mean, it's what are we wasting our time? We want to win now too. And if they can be considered somebody to go to the Eastern Conference Finals or the Finals, we want to be that too. And we could be that. And we are that, honestly. We are that. We will show that by the end of the year. Watch. Let's see. Wolverines is saying Knicks made Eastern Conference Finals in Cat's first year. Yeah, and then y'all lost to a team that y'all probably shouldn't have lost to. And Rick Carlisle outcoached Thibodeau for sure. And they just really had your number. It's crazy that y'all lost the Pacers like that. Y'all should have been in the finals, seriously. But alas, the Pacers were a team of destiny, and they had your number, and they beat y'all. And that's the truth. That's the truth. Yeah, even if y'all got the Eastern Conference Finals in Cat's first year, I still, once again, I feel like he's not a true center. He's like a weird three-point shooting center that is just not going to give you the defensive stuff you need, like Mitchell Robinson or iHeart would do. And that's an Achilles heel in some ways, because you're going to have to play him and put him out there because he's so expensive. And in some ways, it's also partly the money tied up in him. I'm just saying. I know a lot of Knicks fans believe what I believe right now, what I'm saying. Mischief saying this, Knicks top scorers in their last game were Miles McBride, who was 5 for 7 from 3 for 19 points. Jalen Brunson had 37 points, 4 for 6. And Josh Hart, 19. Yeah. What's Brunson's weakness? He's not a good defender. You can absolutely
run an offense against him and get easy scores because he's a really, really piss poor defender. He's a liability on defense. And that's part of the reason why the Pacers y'all beat y'all last year. It's a big part of it. Yeah, that's a big part of it right there. Let's see. I like McBride. I had him on my fantasy team last year, and he's a good scorer. Yeah, and he's starting right now because of the injuries, right? Right. Let's see. Isaac's saying free Malachi. Malachi's in Turkey. And Mischief's giving me a cutoff. All right, we're at 2.5 hours. Let me just go through my tabs real quick. First of all, let's do the what did I do there? I did that. Let's see, where am I on the tabs? Let's do the Instagram stories. First of all, Chris Boucher, Slim Duck of the Boston Celtics, is saying the truth is not for all men, but only those who seek it. What about women? Why can't you say the truth is not for all, but only for those who seek it? You don't need to necessarily just put the word men in there, Chris Boucher. What are you, some Andrew Tate guy or something? No, I'm sure he isn't. Yeah, he's got some weird spiritual healer too guy talking about we're all from the same life and it goes like this. I don't know. These kind of dudes, these shim sham guys. Come on, Chris. He's juggling too. What is this? What is this shit? Coco Wade has got clips of the Hornets court. It was very interesting last night, guys. How did you feel about the Charlotte Hornets blue court with the yellow Hornet in the middle? I thought it was kind of fire. I thought that their weird sun-kissed orange jerseys were kind of cool too. There's James Wade doing the French again. We talked about that yesterday. Let's see what else we got in the chat to talk about, or in the Instagram stories. There's James's son. He plays soccer more than basketball. He's out on the soccer field. Let's see. Going to Jacoby. Jacoby's with a friend of his. He loves watching him hoop on the big stage. So I guess his friend came to Charlotte to see him play. That's cool. I like to see that. Colin Murray Boyles is going off about #1 hooper in South Carolina. Just went off for 45 points. And there's his fit coming into the game. AJ Lawson's got the score from the 905 win last night, 130 to 102. Good job. Play the Long Island Nets again tomorrow. I'll have the preview for it tomorrow and the reaction for the Knicks game tonight. So everything's set up tomorrow at 9:30 Monday morning. So come on back tomorrow. We do this every day, 7 days a week. Let's see. AJ Lawson with a highlight there on Elijah Martin's highlight reel there on his Instagram. And Coach Andrew Jones, very happy about his team winning. And there's a picture of him on the screen, coaching very intensely and making sure 905 came out on the top side of it. It was a close game right up until the fourth. They really separated in the fourth and got distance from them there. Yeah. Lloyd has posted a picture of Scotty and Lloyd's friend Nardo. And I guess Nardo has proposed to his girlfriend. So there's a congratulations in order for the good friend of Scotty, Nardo, who's in Scotty's little entourage with Why Not Lloyd and everybody else. So that's pretty cool right there. Matt Devlin has an NBA Cup thing explained on his Instagram. So if you want to know what's going on in the NBA Cup, he has all the information right there about what to expect from this knockout round and all the different things coming up. And there they got the Christmas sweaters. They got the Jack Armstrong Christmas sweaters last night. Kayla Gray, Jack Armstrong, and Matt Devlin rocking the hello, happy holidays. Get that garbage out of here. Did you see that guy in the crowd last night with the vintage Jack Armstrong shirt? That was pretty cool. Some really good Raptors fans in Charlotte last night. I could tell. There were quite a few Raptors fans at courtside there. It was pretty cool. Let's see. The 905, the Raptor is 95. The Raptors with the dance pack, taking pictures there. Fred VanVleet got a shout out from Phil Handy after he talked about him helping him during the playoff run, the championship run in 2019, where Phil wrote back to him and said, man, we don't win this without you, Fred. And really happy that you came out. So he said, shout out to Phil Handy. Y'all check out Fred VanVleet's new podcast. The Houston Rockets podcast is awesome. It's very, very good. So check out Fred VanVleet TV on YouTube. He has a show kind of like mine. It's an hour long. Yeah. Let's see what else we got. Kelly Olynyk is celebrating the Spurs clinching their part in the in-season tournament. So they'll be playing. There's some food from Kelly, always posting food. And there's his dog, of course. Yeah, there's Kelly. And then Zach Edey celebrating the Grizzlies playing well recently. So there you go. There's your Instagram stories for today. Raptors Reddit, dare I go there with all the crazy, goofy stuff that, people are saying right now. People are saying, if anything else, last night, it highlighted how important RJ Barrett is to the Raptors. Yeah, I'm glad that they say like that, you know. There's some of the posts that I don't like. People talking about Quickly and Ingram in ways that they shouldn't. It's not worth it. Don't do it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Some people are out of bounds and some of the stuff they're saying on here right now. Yeah. Somebody here saying this is how. All right. This is an over dramatized Raptor fan right here. This is the Ni Wei is the name of this guy. Is this a nifty way to do it, man? He's saying this. This is how the streak ends, huh? To the Hornets? What the fuck? I'm disgusted. We had a good streak going, taking out teams left and right, all for it to end by Hornets? One of the worst teams in the league right now? That was on a 7-game losing streak? This is his rant. Oh my gosh. Calm down, bro. Calm down. He took it down already. Oh, they took it down. It's not up there anymore. Okay, goofy. All right, if y'all have fantasy teams in our Yahoo Fantasy League, set up your teams. There's one last day to play, and that's today. Most of the matchups are pretty wide apart, except for Jason Dukes and Amit, which is very much 6-point difference right there. That's amazing, and Jason has taken the lead over Amit at this point. But that's the last day to play today. Let's see who ends up winning it. But otherwise, it looks like most of the matchups are already set for who's going to win. All right, let's see. Straight goods on Canadian goods. Well, it's not Canadian good, guys. It's a Ukrainian good. And I wanted to talk about today some fruit roll-ups called Bob the Snail. Bob the Snail is an interesting company out of Ukraine, and they're like fruit roll-ups kind of, right? I'll open one up and show you guys real quick. Yeah, they're just little packages like this. Look at there's the little snail guy. And yeah, you support a company out of Ukraine, and you get a nice little snack. And it's not Canadian, but at least we're not buying American here. And yeah, it's like a roll-up. It's like an old fruit roll-up. It's a little coil. And you can just take the little thing. Woo, and it's the great thing about Bob the Snail is they don't use any preservatives. This is all natural. It's a healthy snack. This is primarily, it's from fruit. And, you know, it's fun. These are mango rolls. Yeah, and they come from 100% fruit. They are peanut and nut free, gluten free, no added sugars, just natural sugars in the fruit. Bob the Snail. It's good. There you go. There's your straight goods on Ukrainian goods. All right, yeah. Let's see. Fiercely saying if Cat doesn't have 4 fouls by the third quarter, you know the refs are helping. He's a foul machine. Oh, we'll just have to see. And Blackhawks saying Hornets court is fire. I agree. I liked it. I liked their City Edition stuff last night. I thought it was pretty cool. All right, let's do the classic card. Classic card of the day. Let's see who we get. I grabbed 2 cards. I only want 1. Oh, cool. We'll do this one. All right, this one's kind of got a connection to us. It does, actually. All right, guys, classic card of the day. First person to write the full name answer of this player on this basketball card will get the classic card points of the day. So here it is. Let's see. I'll try not to get a reflection on it. This is a pretty classic card. We see the great Reggie Theus in the background in this card behind the player that you're supposed to guess. Who knows their NBA history? Or maybe you'll get this classic card of the day if you know. Otis Thorpe is not right. That's an interesting guess, Isaac. That is not the right position for this player. In some ways, you can put it up close and you'll be like, oh, okay, I remember this guy. He's kind of important to the Raptors, guys. I'll just say that. This individual player right here is one of the few players in NBA history that's ever gotten a quadruple double. So that should give away right there the fact that he's important to the Raptors and he has a quadruple double. So the first person who writes the full name answer will get it. Steph Curry's brother resigned with the Golden State Warriors today. Okay. And they told us that he was going to do that. And that was, he's just cut for a little while and they're going to come back and get Seth back. Damon Stoudemire is close, Isaac, but it's not right. Damon Stoudemire, I don't think he ever played for the Bucks. You're very close, though. You know, this person, I will say this. I mean, if you know your Raptors history, this is the first person who ever scored a point for the Raptors franchise in the history of our whole entire franchise is this person. It wasn't Damon. It wasn't Damon Stoudemire. He wanted to be Damon, but this guy took the ball and made the 3 before Damon could make the shot. So if you know your Raptors history, you should get it. Greg Anthony, why are you doing this? You're playing around, aren't you, Isaac? Why don't you just go get it? You know who it is. Greg Anthony. Come on, that's not Greg Anthony, the father of Cole Anthony. Look at that man right there. We'll get it right up close. You can tell who that is. You see Reggie Theus and his goofy porn stash behind him. Yeah, come on. Somebody's got to know their Raptors history. We look bad if y'all don't get this as soon as possible. This is a guy who got a quadruple double in the history of the NBA. That's very rare to do. I think there's only like 4 players that ever did it in the whole entire history of the NBA, and he's one of them. And this guy also scored the very first points in Raptors history, like as a franchise. Eric Murdoch, that's a better guess because he actually played for the Bucks to a degree. I think Greg Anthony did too. Alvin Williams, oh my gosh, why are you doing this? I think you're trolling me, Isaac. You're trolling me, aren't you, Isaac? Alvin Williams? No, not Boogie. You know who Boogie is. That's not Alvin Williams. Is that Alvin Williams? No, that's not right. You're trolling me. I want to get done. Come on now. Come on now. You can get this. Y'all know who this is. Come on. Y'all make us look bad as Raptors fans. If you can't get the guy who scored the first points in Raptors history, I can get it, Isaac. I know you know who this is. You're just trolling me by dancing around it. It's like he doesn't want to get it. Now my it's not as stable. Come on, man. Stop doing this, guys. Oh, man. Come on now. Write it in. Yes. Jeez. Come on. Is it that hard? It's Alvin Robertson, of course. Of course, it's Alvin Robertson, the first ever person to score points in the Raptors history. It's a 50-point card. I'm really disappointed it took that long to get. It shouldn't have taken that long. It really shouldn't have. You know, when you said Damon Stoudemire, I was like, well, that you're really close. You should have got it then. Alvin Robertson is the card. Isaac Campbell will get it. It's only 50 points because, honestly, that's an easy card, honestly. Maybe he looked weird on the card. I don't know. Was that why it was so hard? His face didn't look right. All right, y'all, let me wrap it up. Thanks for watching the Raptor Freak stream today. Let me go over the lineup stuff just really fast one more time. For the Knicks, the injuries are Kevin McCullar, Landry Shamet, and OG Anunoby. For us, it's just RJ. The refs for tonight are Kevin Scott. He favors the Raptors statistically in the history of the NBA. Trey Maddox, he favors the Raptors. And Jonathan Sterling, who favors the Knicks. That is our ref crew for tonight. The Raptors lost to the Hornets last night, and I gave out some stars. And the 3 stars were Scotty Barnes, Jakob Poeltl, and Sandro Mamukelashvili. Now, for the 905, they won against Long Island Nets last night, 7 in a row, 7 wins, undefeated for the season. Elijah Martin, Jonathan Mobo, Olivier Sarr, David Roddy, and Tyreek Key, my 5 stars of the game for that one. All right, my keys to victory. Well, get pissed off because you lost your winning streak against the Hornets last night and go to the Mecca, the Madison Square Garden, and on the big stage beat the Knicks in their own arena, and you'll get more notoriety, and people will have to pay more attention. Hopefully there won't be any weird ref hit job to try and hold us back tonight, and we can get a fair shot to try and beat the Knicks without any funny stuff. We'll just have to see. We'll play it by ear. We'll watch the game, and we'll root on our team as good fans because that's what you should be doing today. All right, I appreciate everybody watching me. Thanks for the calls today. Neil and Infamous, thank you guys for calling me today. And I appreciate the new subscriptions and people watching me today. I'll be back tomorrow to react to the Knicks game and the outcome, and also to set up the 905s game against Long Island Nets tomorrow. That's right. Seymour saying I'm too far behind in the chat, watching on 1.5 speed. All right, my guy. I'll catch up with you guys tomorrow. Seymour and everybody. Peace out. Have a great Sunday. And believe in the Raptors, y'all. Don't doubt them. And I would say this. There's 2 things you could do that is not good. Either you think that they're going to lose too soon or you think they're going to win too soon. Nothing is set in stone until that NBA buzzer is at 0-0. So this game is crazy. And even if it seems like they can't win or they are going to win for sure, always believe is what I'm saying. That's it right there. All right. Thank you, Isaac. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. Raptors Freak out. Let's go, Raptors. Beat the Knicks.